from there.
Yeah, I saw the one where it's like make vacations mandatory and people lose their shit.
Yeah, just the font and spacing immediately. It's like kind of like the you can spell any word using the Coca-Cola font, and you'll initially start to read Coca-Cola just because it's the font.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm pulling up web pages and we're not even going above 80% this day.
Okay. That's different. Oh, wait. Did we kill some settings?
Yeah, I knocked it down a peg.
Okay. You're into the pegging.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knocked it down a
It's that crew you've been hanging out with lately.
I'm gonna turn us down a tiny bit because we're fucking cruising in the red.
Cruising in the red. I could turn us down here. As long as you feel, as long as you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's perfect.
Okay.
I mean, ask the chat, That's what we got.
Yeah, let's see. There's only a few people in there right now, but if we sound good, give us a thumbs up.
Holla at your boys.
It's just Taco Bell. I fucking wish it was Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah, there's some people in the chat. Let me ixnay that. There we go.
What do you say?
Pull that
If
out.
we get an 8 equals D mouth open emoji, if we sound good.
Yeah.
What?
8
Equals D.
equals D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
And then you need the
with a P. Okay.
the estimation symbol, approximation symbol at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, who can I hear? Oh, there you go. What's up, gentlemen?
Pop out the chat. What's up, everybody? Get rolling in a minute here.
Tim Connor says, sounds pretty good, slightly lower than usual. Is that your TV or us?
Shooky did lower it a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, we're still in the yellow, so if you want, you can maybe go up.
Yeah.
We'll bring us up a little bit.
Still in the yellow.
Still in the yellow? Still in the yellow?
They could be two different things. Like this could peak and that could not be.
Yeah, so I'll just kick it right there. I kicked it up a little bit.
There is. Yeah. Vraxis gets it. Whatever that little symbol he just sent is.
Tilda?
That one.
I call that
The shooter.
The what?
the
The bueno key.
That's what I call it because that's over the N in bueno, I think, or UE. The bueno key.
All right, yeah, I remember my
Diesel
buttons.
Dave. If you've seen the New Bedford UFO, say yeah.
Y'all see the leprechaun say yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just you wait, Diesel Dave. This might be my best idea yet. Shook, I think we can go.
Yeah, let it rip, Tater Chip. You go handle your business, come back and join us.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Josh Garcia, and this is the Revival Motoring Podcast. As always, I'm joined by Corey.si.
Hello, hello, hello.
Chuck, who is in New Mexico today, so he's here
In spirit.
in spirit. We might hear from him later, I think. Shookie's over there at the main controls doing his thing. And in studio, we have Mr. Garrett Harvey of Project Stinkbug.
How we doing?
He's coming to hang out, talk about his latest race, his latest escapades in the Bug of Stink. And we'll get into that.
Class 11, right?
Class 11.
Class 11.
Before we get rolling, this episode is brought to you by you. That's right, you listening.
Us.
You supporting, you loving us. This episode is brought to you by the entire Revival Motoring world. Those are the listeners, the supporters, all of you people.
This is the first one.
Because we're going raw.
We're just free floating through space right now.
We're just out there in the wind. Let it all hang out.
Yeah.
Could come crashing down. Who knows? But I don't think so, because we have many, many great supporters, listeners, viewers, and friends of all things Revival. So this to you. Geez, that was quick. So we can get right into the old
If you'd like to leave a callback number, press 2.
callbacks.
Well, I'm happy we're here.
Good.
Do you got any? Because I got a few. I got a bigger one.
Let's start with the big one.
Let's start with the bigger one. So, I think approximation of all of our listeners reached out and said that I need to watch the F1 Drive to Survive. Right?
Yes.
Recently had a work mishap. Well,
Yes. So, side note, I'm glad you're here
yes,
and whole.
and still have a leg.
in whole.
Yeah, I might have been a work mishap. Few stitches. Time in the hospital. We're home. We're back. But I need some TV to watch. So I put on Drive to Survive. Season 1, episode 1. I know I'm 3 years behind. Doesn't matter. I want to get caught up. Garrett, are you an F1 guy?
Love it.
Really? Okay.
Every
This
week.
is awesome because Josh, you've been watching a little bit too.
Starting to come around, if you will.
I talked a few weeks ago about how I've tried watching some races myself. Didn't really get it, so I ended up just turning them off. A bunch of people reached out and said, you got to watch this show. It'll get you into the thing.
You'll be doing a shoey by the end of it.
So I was like, I don't know. What can this show really give me? Like, it's a race, whatever. One episode in. One. And I was like, okay, well, when's the next race I can watch? So I start looking. Okay. All right, so I think it's October 8th. Or no, that weekend. So it's the 10th, I think, at that point.
Yeah, that's a matter of fact.
Friday,
is that
Saturday, Sunday.
That's Abu Dhabi.
I'm not
Abu
sure.
Dhabi.
I think they're back there.
They were just in Russia. I know that.
Okay.
So
I can't remember, but
already I'm like, I got to know more. I got to know more. I got to watch more. I got to be involved. A little while later, I'm trying to find tickets, 2022. I'm trying to go to the
Miami,
Italian,
baby. You want to go to Miami?
Get Miami and Austin.
I'm
I
trying
got
to go to the
some-
Italian Grand Prix.
Oh, arrivederci, huh?
Listen, there's something about it that I was never aware of. Like, there's so much, like, emotion. There's so many moving pieces. To me, it was always like, okay, the guy gets in the car, he races. I guess a lot to it. There's a
It's so
ton of
much more
talent.
than that,
There's a
yeah.
ton of talent involved in the whole thing. There's a crew. The Williams crew, I believe, was the smallest of the crew with 200 and something people, or the Haas team, or whatever it was.
Yep.
And I was like, that's a small crew?
Well, they're the only American team too.
Yeah. Pride to the America.
Yep.
But I'm hooked. I'm hooked.
And it goes even deeper.
I'm a
You're
season and a half in at this point.
just scratching the surface.
I've been blowing through it. I already got all the stuff on the Instagram hitting me with all that. They know I'm obviously watching, so they
Yep.
hit me with all the stuff.
Yep.
My Google News feed, they know I'm watching because now I'm getting all kinds of F1 news.
Yep.
I'm hooked, dude. There's characters,
And that's what makes it.
legitimately characters.
And I can say now I legitimately have a favorite team
Yep.
and favorite drivers.
Who's your favorite team?
Right now, McLaren.
McLaren. Okay.
Because after Ricciardo won,
Ricardo.
watching that entire thing, you'll see it in season 2.
Wait, did he leave Renault?
You'll have to watch.
So you got to watch.
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
what I'm saying.
get some catch up.
I'm like 3 years behind.
So that's the thing is after watching all that and then seeing it come to fruition, like it's not just because you happen to win. It's
Yeah.
just I was literally cheering for him to win, and
Yeah.
it was like, oh shit, it happened.
You
So-
feel
There's
the
a
emotions
thing,
watching
right,
it.
there's
You
the
feel like you're a
attachment.
part of it almost.
Exactly, the
Yeah.
attachment, right? Exactly.
because just a few episodes into season 1, there's obviously the Haas team. They're having a hard go at it. Force India. I knew about Force India because Bill Burr talks a lot about them.
Yep.
So I knew about Force India, and now I'm wrapped up into whatever this guy did. The young driver they have, who he didn't get renewed for next season, I audibly was like, oh my God. When they said it, I was all bummed. Then, Ricardo, he gets fucked because they pick Verstappen over him for a pit change, whatever it was.
The politics of it.
I mean, Verstappen's an ugly bloke, but it seems like if you're going to be a driver, you have to be like a 10. You got to be a 10. You got to look at the whole 9.
Oh, it's everything. Oh yeah, yeah.
There's an image.
You're the front facing, image of the entire.
You've got to be a beautiful man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's incredible.
There's a lot. Generally, a small guy.
Yeah.
Tiny
Generally
guy.
a small guy, but
Yeah.
Like a jockey.
it definitely got to be
exactly.
definitely got to be a good-looking man to partake in being an F1
sport.
driver.
Yeah.
Also, to be one of 20.
Yep. I mean, Hamilton, I don't know. It does cover his stuff.
For season 1, you don't even know who. If you don't know, you don't even know who Hamilton is.
Yeah. It in the later stuff, it kind of dances around some older footage and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just like, he was groomed for this since
I had
They
heard
start a cart. If you don't start at a cart,
Well,
you don't
yeah.
have a chance by the time. You
I
get
had
to
heard
there. It's
about
crazy.
Hamilton's story through another podcast.
Yeah.
Like someone had talked about like his story because he came up or whatever. So I knew kind of the premise of his thing and all
Yeah.
the stuff his dad did, how long he's been driving, the whole nine. So I knew who he was. I mean, I'm not totally daft, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, I just couldn't get in like the theatrics of everything going on, the emotion. I mean, the videos of the pit crews and how like wrapped up they get into it. Obviously, I mean, they're a giant factor in the whole thing.
Yeah.
All of it, like the meetings after, the woman from Williams, she's like a family, like she is.
It's a family-owned team.
Yeah, and you know their budget is I think it was like a fifth
Yeah.
of what like a normal team was.
Yeah.
And you think like Williams, like
Right.
Williams?
Oh,
like,
it's wide.
Yeah.
It's wild. I mean, there's so you can dive in so much, and there's it never stops because there's the races, and then there's all the drama, the backstories. The season isn't ended, and not this year in particular, but I'm just giving examples of like season can not be over yet, and drivers know they're leaving teams.
So that was what I was so surprised about is I'm watching the Drive to Survive show. So they follow the season. This is 2018, and I'm only 5 episodes in, and they're talking about this person's going here, and I'm
There's
like,
so much, like if you were to take a snapshot of where you are currently and the outlook of things right now, it's completely different.
well, that's so. I opened up a tab I was going to read after we talked tonight, and it was like 2022 drivers list.
Yeah.
And like
Who's
driving, who they're driving for the whole night.
Yeah.
Well, that's when you get this late in the season. You wonder if you're letting people catch up to your teammates a little sooner than
Exactly.
later.
Yeah.
just because
Exactly.
of
So that's
who's a teammate next year.
That's the
You
other
never know.
thing is just like within a team, you have 2 guys who want to be 1, not 1A, not
Well,
2.
that was
Well, if you're
the
at that
Ricardo
point,
Verstappen thing.
Think
That's-
how big your ego is. at a
that's
certain
exactly
point. You're
right.
One of the 20 F1 drivers.
Well,
in
they
the
talk
world.
about that. They talk about how like these guys, like as great as they are, as nice as they are, they all have this giant like damage to their ego, right? So they all have this huge ego, and it's like if he gets to walk through the door before me, like they're upset about it. They're like very fragile people.
Yeah.
And like the season 1, it was like the Verstappen and the Ricciardo thing where, who's bumping who off the track. I mean, the Ricciardo just literally drove through the back of Verstappen.
Yeah.
That was wild. I was
So-
like, oh, that's not good. That's expensive.
I'm very, very excited for this next season that comes out because this is the first season that I've actually followed. I haven't sat and watched every single race, but I've took the time to see kind of who won, what happened, watch highlights, follow things along on Twitter as they are unfolding because I did happen to catch a handful of them, early morning on whatever Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
So knowing what happened, seeing the behind the scenes now is going to be super interesting.
Yeah, actually, so audio exclusive right up there in the chat. It says the access and their editing is outstanding. I couldn't agree more. It's amazingly shot. Some of the angles they film, it's kind of like, oh, all right, it's whatever. They're just driving on the track. And then some of the other angles they get, and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why are they traveling so fast?
Yeah.
And also, like, the car is like attached to the ground.
It's forcing itself down. Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And he said his fiance is hooked. I started watching with my girlfriend, and she's like, yeah, okay, let's keep going. Like she's like, oh, when's the next race? Like we got to watch this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Totally hooked.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
What's really funny, I can't remember who, but somebody tagged me in a thing. Ah, fuck. If you're in the chat, please speak up. But I apologize if I forgot you. They sent me a thing, and it was basically just like, this is going to be Corey after watching one episode of Drive to Survive. And it was just this English dude just screaming F1. He's screaming F1 and he's running into his bunker. And then he goes down a fucking metal ladder and he's in his, not escape room, but doom room.
Yeah.
And it's all like, there's a big TV.
Yeah.
He's got a couch. It's all, and the race is on. He's just like, F1, F1.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like when I get wrapped up in something, I get wrapped up into it like way too much. Like UFC, way too deep. This is just something like
I expect the full Ferrari tracksuit, the matching Pumas.
Oh, we're
the
going to come in next
nine.
week. He's going to have Pilates on.
yeah. I was like, this is incredible.
Who is your team?
Right now, like watching. So I'm in season 2 right now. I'm like really big into the Red Bull team because they swapped to the Honda engines, and I was like, well, that's really cool. Like I like Honda. This is cool, but I like the Haas team, like being an American team. That dude,
The GM?
Grosjean.
Yeah.
Well, he was one of the drivers, and he was having a rough go with it. Every race, it was like
He's
a
the
crash, or he hit someone, or he broke something. Or had
oh yeah, just wait.
yeah, and then so I felt for him because
Wait, there's more.
Yeah,
he's so
you're just
emotionally beaten, and then they get into the rich energy. This fucking absolute lunatic decides they're going to give them X amount of dollars, whatever, $60 million, whatever it might have been. He pulls out, 2-3 races in because of poor performance. Okay, yeah, they definitely weren't doing well. I mean, I don't know what this guy is. I don't think he's totally legitimate.
Which one?
The rich energy guy.
Yeah.
He's a fucking lunatic.
Shouts to Raph. That was him who sent me that thing about
send it to me.
you
because
in the bunker. So the cool thing is we've talked about a handful of things and events that have happened on F1 that you'll get to see unfold.
I can't wait. So now I need to blow through all this. So now I can watch the races. So now I'm up on.
Yeah.
Now, I'm current with it because I'm watching stuff now. I'm getting excited about it. Happened 3 years ago.
Right.
It just doesn't matter anymore.
Instead of the point where you're caught up, you want to rewatch it because you're watching the races happen.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what did happen? What are they talking about?
Yeah. I mean, and some of the journalists they got to do it are historians are too aggressive of a word because we're only talking a few years old, but they're telling the story and narrating it the whole time. Yeah.
So kind of stemming off that, I guess a small piece of news in the callbacks. Some information was released fairly recently that next year the countdown is on to F1 Miami Grand Prix.
Yep.
Taking place May 8th of 2022. On top of that, this was a really interesting thing that I found. Basically, Netflix's CEO, Reed Hastings, has admitted Netflix would think about bidding for Formula One's streaming rights if they had the opportunity.
I mean, think about the audience. So I get someone up here, Vrax has said, spend the money, get F1 TV. I need to watch a few more because I'm really amped on the show, right? So I'm really amped on the theatrical show of it all. Let's just call it what it is, reality television of it all.
Right. And
I need to
again,
watch I need to watch races to see if kind of when I watch a race, am I going to be just as excited as I'm watching some reality television show? So I guess in 2 weeks.
I think it would depend on the race.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's the same thing with everything. You watch some UFC nights and you're like,
right.
Just spend $70 on this.
Like you said, different fight cards. It's like a different circuit.
Yeah.
Some you definitely want to watch. Some you're scrolling through your phone when you're watching it.
Yeah. Compounded together, they make quite a entertaining thing.
Well, just definitely this season alone.
Oh my God, that's why I like.
It's going to be incredible to watch the.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited for the next because of all the stuff.
So instead of 21 races, there's 23 this coming year. So they're adding two.
There's still one circuit for this year that hasn't been announced where they're racing.
Yeah.
So because I was like, 21, okay. And then I looked and I saw there was 23. Oh, tickets! Oh, Jesus, they're expensive. They're not cheap.
Oh no,
they're not cheap. But I mean, it's not a once in a lifetime, but it's a big experience. You go, you enjoy it. It's not like something you'd go every year.
We had again, forgive me, I should have I don't think I took a screenshot, but a listener sent me some images or some videos of him at Spa.
Who's that?
When F1 was there. I don't remember. Yeah. But yeah, just the flybys of of the long straight up the hill.
Yeah.
Just absolutely wild.
Mental.
Yeah, absolutely wild.
Absolutely mental. Yeah, so I'm fully immersed in this now. So I'm gonna leave here and go watch more when I get home anyway. So I'm just excited to get caught up. I'm excited to watch the race that's coming up. I think someone said it earlier. It was the Turkish Grand Prix. I believe the 8th and the 10th. So yeah, the 10th would be Sunday. So I can't
come by. We'll do brunch with the boys.
Brunch with the boys. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can all gather around here, throw it up here.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have a callback from, I believe this was from Hell's Yes, also known as Hale Price. He just wanted to include me. He put some stickers on. His dad and himself have a race car, I believe. And he said, pigs really did fly. They finished second place in every event for their class. Finished 5th out of 13 in a feature event with some really fast cars. And he also wrote, hoping you can give a shout out to my boy BJ, BJohn99. He was a huge help in getting the car to the track this weekend and the overall success. He's the guy that turned me on to your podcast. So shouts to BJohn99 and shouts to you, Hale. What else do I have for callbacks? Let's see. That might be, I I guess we can do this now. It's not really news. So obviously I'm on the hello Twitter world.
Hello, Twitter.
Hello Twitter world. I'm out there on the Twitters, right?
The Twitter sphere, right?
The sphere, right? And this is why I put up that question asking for somebody who's involved with Tesla in particular, who kind of knows some ins and outs, because I seen a headline like this. Careful out there, kids. There is a dangerous new game being played on our streets. It's called Try to Get the Highest Tesla Safety Score Without Killing Anyone. Don't forget to post your highest scores, ... This came from at Pastabino. Solid name. But he took a screenshot of this gentleman, Gary, this fucking talking dildo. Gary posted up, okay, I'm up to 95 now by running the yellow lights, parking myself instead of valet parking at the restaurant, not braking for the cyclist who crossed against the red in an intersection, rolling through the stop signs, and going around the block a few additional times before going home. So the safety score that Tesla recently put out, it's a beta, I believe.
Yeah.
My question at first was, wait, is this a safety score that you're giving the car? In other words, trying to operate and let it do its thing so it brings its own safety score up. That was what I originally thought. That's not the case. Safety score is just the safety score of the driver.
Mm-hmm.
Why they're doing this, we don't know yet. I do know, but I can't say it. But this safety score has triggered a bunch of test lights. I don't even know what you want to call them. Fucking AA batteries, mouth breathers, breathing batteries.
Yeah.
To do things like Gary, the walking dildo.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing this to avoid hard braking because that's one of the things that brings your score down.
So this is like the things that the insurance company will send you when you want to lower your insurance.
Correct.
They're like, oh, we can send you this thing. You plug it into your OBD2 port, and like it'll give us like a reading.
Your
Yeah.
brakes, everything.
Yeah. Like
So hard or mass or I don't know.
hard braking,
Hard
rapid
braking is one
acceleration.
thing. Rapid acceleration like that. Okay, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Hard braking, swerving. Those are things that you shouldn't be penalized on because if you're doing something like that and it's just like a one-off and it's not all the time, you're probably trying to fucking avoid something.
Yeah.
And you are actually paying attention.
Yeah, someone's dog runs in front of you.
Right, exactly. So instead,
You were observant.
You have people who are thinking or hesitant because their safety score is first priority versus the cyclist who was, the cyclist was wrong. They're fucking assholes, 90% of them.
Yeah, most of them are.
You might be swerving at them.
Yeah.
Right. So but it's just like, hey, if you're hesitating to slow down because of your safety score and thinking about hitting somebody, that's not exactly the right mindset to have, I believe, when you're driving. And then somebody else chimed in, to brake for a bicyclist or not to brake for a bicyclist. That is the question. Which is worse for Tesla's safety score? Gary's response, don't brake, but don't hit him.
Okay. Nailed it.
So I just, it wasn't even brought to my attention. I stumbled upon it.
Mm-hmm.
I just have this weird relationship with Tesla now because I appreciate them as a brand. I appreciate the ingenuity, the technology. They're bringing everybody else into the future, but the fucking, the cult following, the mindless cult following that is being developed.
The sheeple?
The sheeple is fucking, I just can't stand it.
But, I know a handful of people in Teslas. They're lovely people.
And matter of fact, I was talking to Jesse.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. He's first person comes to mind.
A normal person that happens to drive a Tesla.
The most normal.
And he can, make valid points for the vehicles and the brand and all that as well. Okay, great. And that's great. He's a normal person.
Yeah.
But then you get fucking Gary.
What is it saying? It's the minority is always the loudest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So,
yeah.
right. You have this one idiot.
So you got a dozen people on Twitter who, playing the Tesla score game. Well, everyone else is just like, I don't know. I just need to get to work. Like, I don't have time for this. Like,
right.
I was supposed to pick up milk on my way home. I forgot. I got to circle back. Like, those are the normal people.
Right. It's just call back to the fucking sheeple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Forever them.
Speaking of other normal people, I didn't mention it last week, and I didn't mention it the week before because I don't think I was here. But we didn't touch. I want to touch briefly on Tom and his cross country trip. Tom is our great friend who does the show Talking Motorcycles. Check it out on the Revive Motoring Network. Him and his lovely girlfriend Sam. They have departed from Rhode Island in their lovely little van, or Tom's lovely little van, and they've been driving across the country. He's been banging out some incredible interviews for people that he could have called, talked on the phone, but like he's been able to kind of get some sit down quality time, like FaceTime with people, like real FaceTime, and it's been awesome. And Tom is someone who started something long before we used anything called Instagram, and he started a website called situationrad.com. And situationrad.com was a website that he started, and he would post a page or a link, not a link, but like a page with a title, and you'd click it. And in that page, there would be maybe 2 or 3 photos with a short description. A lot of it when I started following was when Tom was still going to car shows. And it'd be like a few cars, and it'd be like, great day at blah, blah, blah. Talk to so-and-so. Nice seeing so-and-so.
Yeah.
And that was it.
It really was Instagram before Instagram.
It was the best version of what you want on Instagram before it existed.
Yep.
And he's since really ramped up his content back to Situation Rad.
Yep.
I've been loving it. I've been enjoying it. Checking on his trip there. He's done some really cool stuff. I think he's
Like
actually
the Salt Flats.
He did Bonneville. Yep, that was incredible. He did a lot of cool things. He did have to avoid part of the country because of some weird wildfire stuff going on. So
this is all in the van that he had
Just
he had made.
he had ordered
yeah.
from Mercedes. Yeah, he's talked about it here. He's got his bike out back. He's got some custom built shelving for his stuff. It really is one of those things where I know that maybe that's not for everyone, but for me, like driving cross country in like a van with like my shit in the back of it and just kind of,
do your thing.
guess I'm just staying here tonight doing my own thing. Like that's really, it's got to be a really freeing experience.
Oh yeah.
You know, especially you get to do it with, someone by your side and kind of do the whole experience together. It's awesome. Check out the podcast. Check out the website, situationrad.com.
Yep.
It's worth it. Quality content. Shouts to Tom.
New episodes already up on Talking Motorcycles and more coming. So
I listened to the Matt Rad one.
Yep. Yeah, just most recent one just came out this week.
Yep.
That is it for my callbacks.
I think I'm good. I think my biggest one was just F1. Yeah, Drive Just 5, man.
It's a lifestyle.
Good. It's so good.
So seeing Chuck is not here, I don't have the beat for B sound.
Bucks for the boys. Yeah, that's good enough.
So we nailed it. It's good. Bucks for the boys is our way to keep this podcast afloat. As you heard earlier this episode, we don't have any ads right now, and we might take 1 or 2, and they're probably going to be long-term ones if somebody, gets in touch with us and we seem to work out a deal. So in lieu of that, we started Bucks for the Boys. Bucks for the Boys allows all of you listeners, readers, and supporters of Revival, if you feel you want to support us even more, you can go to revivemorning.com/B4B, where you can leave a donation of $2, $5, $10, or $20 and
Big
subscribe.
old 20.
Subscribe that way. Some people have doubled up on 20.
Doubled up.
Doubled up on 20.
Who are those people? Mouth kisses.
I don't
Who are you? Mouth kisses for you.
So that's where you can subscribe and support everything that Revival does. Basically, if you find any value in the podcast and our YouTube and the magazine,
And anything we do at all.
anything we do, that's how to support it right there. And if you don't want to sign up and subscribe, you can leave us a donation at info@revivemotoring.com directly to PayPal. It can be a one-time donation. If we get $420.69, Shook is going to do a burnout to burn off his tires. That's still on the table.
Right to completion.
Maybe get the wheels off too. Who knows? Just, $420.69 is where it's at. So if you are feeling givey,
Can you imagine that $2 a month? I mean, it's 50 cents an episode, or in this month, 40 cents an episode.
40, right? And
40
moving
cents
forward, we're probably going to have more than 4 episodes a month.
I'm in.
That's what we're going to try to do. Hey, and if you don't want to or can't do it, completely fine too. We're still going to keep producing this podcast at least once a week, if not more. Talking motorcycles, topics under the stairs, circle jerks, still going to put out YouTube videos, and it's never going to be behind a paywall because we just want to, do cool shit for everybody, and hopefully everybody enjoys it. So that's the B for B. Now, with that, each episode, we have a rating system, if you will. Basically
a scoring system, kind of like the Olympics.
Show how we did last week,
Josh really threw a curveball by adding an additional episode to the system. I hear a creaking door, but I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
He threw in an extra episode and really kind of messed things up a little
Dare
bit.
I say affects the numbers?
So far, we are at a it's a bit dismal 5 cents.
Oh, whoa, wow. Really brought it down.
We're at a 5 cent a listen value right now.
Definitely worth a nickel.
Yeah.
Nickel to me.
Nickelodeon, baby.
Yeah.
We were at a strong 7 last week.
Strong 7, hard 7.
Hard 7.
Hard 7. This was, it was a definitive 5. Definitive 5. There was no number fudging to get to 5. It was a definitive 5. Not as strong as a 7 was.
Mediocre 5.
At best. On the sunniest of days.
So, there you have it.
We've got some minor but major contributions this week to the B for B that were not in the monetary column. However, we still appreciate them. The first comes in another podcast review. This is from Kinda, who is a longtime listener as well as a great time friend. And he left a podcast review that says, "Glad to see the edibles kicked in for question time. Hashtag clear plastic rulers. Hashtag prison doctors. Hashtag C word." So he's obviously someone who listens weekly. He gets all the inside jokes of everything there. And then last but not least is shouts to Hessian Dave. Hessian Dave, or Hessian Dave as I like to call him. He is a parts recycler. That's what I would like to call him. He's a parts recycler of, Mark 1, Mark 2. Maybe he's got some Mark 3 stuff, actually. And he's been a listener of the podcast. And I reached out to him because our good friend Bobby Souffle was in need of a wiper arm, right?
Yeah.
Where do you go to get a wiper arm for Mark 2?
I would take to social media and ask people.
I did take to social media and I asked Hessian Dave. Guess what?
He had one. Solid.
So everyone should go check out his Instagram page, Harvester Euro. He's just getting it started now. There's so many, rare parts pages, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all the same regurgitated same parts over and over you see on there. But who is selling? Like, he also was the same kid who came to...
Whoa.
Wow, that was close.
I think
It's
you're good.
those pumpkins kicking in.
Just broke the cherry. Too many of these Reese's pumpkins. He's the same guy who came through with the 8-valve CIS boot that no one could find.
Right.
The same one who came through with it.
Right.
So, where do you go to get stuff like this?
Yeah.
He is a parts recycler. He was at Fieldworks as well.
Yep.
Hanging out. Say what's up.
Yep.
So he's getting his Instagram page going. I think it's going to be a great resource for some of that weird stuff.
Older Volkswagens.
Get
Older
those winter
Volks-
swaps finished up.
What's up?
Get the parts list for the winter swaps.
Yeah,
going.
some of the weird stuff that where am I? The best example would be this wiper arm. You're like, where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You gotta take to social media, hope someone finds it, whatever.
Right. It's not like you're going to run down to AutoZone.
His contribution was sending it to our good friend Bobby Souffle.
Yep.
To help him out, getting everything going. So shouts to him. B for B.
We had a couple new subs this month in the B for B subs. Shouts to Ed. Shouts to Daniel, who wrote a message. Just writes, "Love the podcast. Been listening for over a year now and figured it's about time I throw the boys of summer a couple bucks more than just an air freshener. It's the least I can do for the weekly quality content. Also calling out my boy, Mitch X Ritter, a.k.a. Where's My 10 Mil, who got me into the podcast. It's time to pony up for the lads. If you don't already, let's crush that 12 cents a listen ceiling." Well,
12 cents a listen. If we ever...
I can't even imagine what that...
Well, at that time, we were... there was...
It was fresh. There was some...
There were some oddities.
There
in
were
the
some
numbers.
things happening.
Yeah.
He just also... just writes, "Dan at Buy It Broken." is his Instagram handle. Also from Timothy, he just writes, I keep forgetting to do this. Hope I can get you to the 8 cents per listen. Well, not this week. We do appreciate it, Timothy, though, truly.
You got us to the 5.
Yeah. You helped. You helped still.
And that's what matters.
It would have been worse without you.
Certainly.
So
might not have been a strong 5.
So let me close that one. I will not save that. Do you want to do news? Or actually, we should wait for Shook to do the new segment.
The new segment?
Not. We can get into news. I have a bit of a new segment.
Oh, new segment.
Yeah,
Okay.
that involves some things, and I want him to hear it.
Yeah.
So we'll go. We'll cue the boys for now. The news.
Shout out to Curtis.
Josh Curtis.
Yep. He's late to the show, but he's lived and breathed F1 since Michael Schumacher, early 2000s. He's fully invested every Sunday AM with the boys group chat, actually. And can't wait till we catch up. So I can't wait to make this part of part of my contribution here.
Part
weekly.
of the show. Right.
Yeah.
Right. If, you know, it would be really cool if Netflix does take over the rights to stream it.
Yeah.
I believe you can do viewing parties on Netflix
Yeah,
and
you
invite
can.
a bunch of people. So we will absolutely do something like
Yeah,
that
we did
if that's
be
the
doing
case.
a viewing party. Might even be able to do a viewing party with the new season of Drive to Survive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can certainly do that.
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should, especially with winter. Although I don't know when it's going to come out. Probably
be-
not until spring.
It's going to be a long,
Yeah.
cold, dark one.
Maybe we can do a rewatch.
Some favorite moments? Like my boy from Ferrari with those glasses and the haircut. Yo, listen, that guy's a vibe.
There's a lot of vibes.
If that's how I need to look when I'm like 50 something,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I'll be
what
happy.
Yeah. All right. A lot of dudes wearing white pants too.
so many white pants, so many white pants.
High fashion.
Yeah, so many white pants. So many real tight shirts.
Oh yeah. Tight. Got to show the areolas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Euro
Can't surprise
Euro
anybody.
cut.
It's a lifestyle.
I'm talking about the dudes too. Ford F-150 Raptor R won't enter production until later in 2022, but it is coming.
Garrett, what's this going to do for your plans?
Make me realize that I cannot afford it.
Cannot afford it. You are a
let's-
previous Raptor owner.
I am.
First gen,
First gen
V8,
V8.
man edition.
It was.
Yeah. And
I
you get rid of
actually
it.
had an early one too. So some people would call it not the man's edition.
Not the
smaller
man's
motor,
edition.
but it was a very early model Raptor.
So no pricing is released yet from what I can see of the Raptor R, but it's very likely that the Raptor R will adapt Ford's Predator supercharged 5.2-liter V8 from the Mustang Shelby GT500, which that'll give it 760
Way
horsepower.
too much. Way too much.
So there's that. There's also the new Raptor non-R, standard Raptor. Begin taking orders of the standard 2021 Raptor in June, so those are already out. Prices for that are $64,000 and change, so I'm sure the R, it's got to be pushing 80, 90.
Yeah.
80, at least 80.
Did I send you the one with the markup that was
Yeah, I think it was you.
absolutely insane?
Because that's what sparked the conversation that you were kind of out there perusing.
That's so I got it right here. There's a Gen 3 Raptor marked up to $128,000.
Oh my God. That's for an EcoBoost Raptor,
Yes.
$128,000.
$129. It's $2 off.
Oh
so.
my God. Does that include destination fees?
Better include an elephant
Yeah.
walk.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It better include a lot. Yeah. People are going to pay it. Somebody's going to pay it.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
guess someone will. But
I hope somebody doesn't, but
I hope someone does it every day.
they seem to do it still.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten out of control.
Yeah. Everything's out of control.
Yeah.
I also have 2023 Chevy Corvette Z06 exterior revealed ahead of its October 26th debut.
You know, remember how hyped we were on the C8?
Mm-hmm. Has it lost its luster a little bit?
I've gotten so flaccid over this car.
Yeah.
I see C7s,
Yeah.
01, 06, and C7s, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that is a fantastic looking car. That is a Corvette. Like that's a Corvette. That's whatever you see, the shoes, the burger flipping, whatever. Oh man, whatever the jokes are about it, doesn't matter. Whatever. That is a Corvette. The C8 is just trying to be something it's not. It's just trying to be a car that's not that. It's just trying to be like a Ferrari. It's trying to be it's trying to be a supercar rather than the American muscle car.
And because it's called a Corvette, it's just not.
Yeah, it's just not. It never will be.
Yeah.
Now, granted, now could I be fooled and you take that same design, you throw a supercar manufacturer logo on it, maybe
they all even just sounded like, was it the ZR1 that they had the sound clip of?
Yeah.
The recent one?
If they all sounded like that, that would make your head turn around when you see
Right,
them. You see them drive by now, it's
Yeah.
just another Corvette.
Yeah, it's just another one. And there's something about it because the one at Thompson.
Yeah.
You and I were looking at it one day. We were like,
Yeah.
it
was funny because the one, it was sitting right near a C7. And I'm just like, yeah, I would take this. The C7.
I would take C7 for sure.
And
I don't know what it was. We were real fancy.
I don't dislike it at all.
It's not that I dislike it. It's just I'm not as hyped on it. I think the original thing that really kind of got me going on the whole thing was the price tag.
Yeah.
And then the overall change of style, right? And that's what kind of got me going at first. But over time, it come out, I see it on the streets, and then I see C7s. I'm like, no, that's a Corvette.
So they released some new photos of the exterior. Again, this comes from Motor1.com. Let's see. The latest photos are from Chevy gives everyone a first clear look at the car's exterior, revealing a new fascia, unique wheels, and other minor tweaks. Everything below the hood's leading edge looks new. New grille opening, tweaked intake designs, and more aggressive front splitter. New rear quarter panels tweaked. Side air intakes further enhanced by a new door sill piece. No shots of the rear. Bumper design, et cetera. So obviously they knew what they were teasing, but I expect we'll see more of this come out leading up to the October 26th event.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm obviously excited to see any sort of new car. Seeing something, American muscle, that's fantastic. But there's just something about a C7 that just looks like devilish.
Oh, yeah.
Like menacing.
Sinister look.
Yeah, it's sinister. Perfect.
Yeah.
Where now I see
Stingray-esque. It looks.
Yeah, but now I see a C8 and I'm like, oh, it's like. There's I think some channel did a little docuseries before about like the knockoff Chinese luxury cars.
Yep.
Like that's what the C8 is. It's like a kind of like a cheaper version.
Supercar.
Yeah, cheaper supercar.
It's got to feel like that jump from the C3 Vet to the C4 where you had the modern, super modern looks coming from an older, curvy look.
Yeah.
Where it's just
brand new thing.
completely different.
Yeah, that's the thing. It just it's so different.
Shuck hit me.
Pumpkin for you. Pumpkin for you.
Shook's back in the room, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we're good. We're covering some news right now, but when you're ready, please come have a seat at the big table. Okay, because before we start a new segment, I wanted you to be present. And Chuck already heard it because I already know, but we're still covering some news. So let's see, Motor1.com. VW using defeat device again.
Oh, no.
EU court advisor says. I don't know the details. Let's see. Ooh, it looks like Volkswagen contacted Motor One to update them. And they said, according to GA's opinion, a thermal window may be justified if it is intended to prevent, for example, a malfunction of the EGR valve, blah, blah, blah. Bunch of spiel that they want you to hear.
We didn't do it again.
Yeah.
Volkswagen, what are you doing?
It's like that old friend, is always going to get everybody in trouble.
John Jones?
Yeah.
To summarize it, it says, in theory, the software is designed to prevent the engine from aging or clogging up, but the EU court advisor says it's a defeat device in a very similar way that the software of the infamous VW EA189 was. Here we go again. That's all. I just you can read the article on Motor One.
If this gets bigger, I don't know how they're going to be able to afford this one.
What did that guy say? I'll never be able to financially recover from this.
Yeah, Tiger King. I'll never be able to financially recover.
They sell Bugatti yet?
They're gonna
no,
need
I don't
to.
think
Yeah,
so. I
pawn
think
that
they
off
were
to someone
still,
else.
they were still toying with that idea.
Yeah, they're gonna need to for sure. I mean, while we're talking about manufacturers, one of which is involved in this here. I mean, the chip shortage.
I was right.
We've talked
yeah.
about it so many times.
Yep.
So it seems like it's really kind of not come to a head, but is coming to a head this past week or so, where the chip manufacturers are like, listen, like you're using, for all intents and purposes, ancient technology in these chips. Like we don't want to continue producing this like old technology to put into your vehicles when you can update it
Over the air.
and make something that is going to be just as cheap, easier to produce, cheaper to produce, easier to make, and you can build it into rapid production.
Yep.
So, Pat Gelsinger from Intel says, "Hey, I'll make as many chips as they want, but the problem is that they're going to need to invest billions in order to get this done when they can invest a much smaller amount of money to just update the technology."
Yep.
So I guess there's kind of like this pushing back and forth. The automakers are like, "Listen, we need the chips," and the manufacturing company's like, "You know what? Like, we're kind of done with this. We're done with this."
Force their hands enough, they're going to have to adapt.
Yeah. Now there's a lot to it. They can make a chip that's cheaper, better, faster, stronger, whatever Daft Punk is. But like, there's going to need to be testing. There's going to be certifications for the whole thing. But in the end, apparently these chip makers feel like it's going to be a cheaper solution than having to invest in old technology to make just a new product.
Yep.
So one particular company, Qualcomm, which we're all familiar with because it's, I think, in pretty much everyone's cell phone. So they're what's known as like a fabless chip maker. So they use what's called like a foundry to make a lot of their stuff. It's just kind of like they're paying someone else to manufacture the stuff for them.
Mm-hmm.
And like the foundries that they're using to make the outdated like semiconductors, even they're at this point now, they're like now we're good. Like we gotta move on from this.
Yeah.
We gotta move on. Like you can't. It's like your aunt who's still got like an iPhone 3.
Yep.
It's like at some point, like it's just not gonna work.
We
anymore.
have to advance the technology.
Yeah,
to
especially
adapt.
technology's rapidly improving so fast.
Yeah.
It's like the caterpillar chip anymore. Like isn't the way to go.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but like,
I think the answer is the automaker has to take a hint from the people who are in
the vendors,
that world,
the suppliers, right?
If they're saying, "Hey, we can get this done for the same price or cheaper, but it's going to be faster production. We're going to be able to produce larger volumes. There's going to be no slowdowns anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're just going to have to get it certified or change a few of the not structural, but just change how it works
Methods,
in general."
right? Yeah.
You got to evolve at some point.
Right.
Like tire technology evolved.
I mean, look at how long it's taken car manufacturers to, understandably so for some instances, to adapt to, hey, you got to build EVs.
That and then think about we talked about it on here before where car manufacturers, how long it took them to kind of bend the knee to, you know what, infotainment systems aren't really our thing.
Right. Allow the pros to do it.
Like
right.
It seems like Android Auto and Apple CarPlay haven't figured it out.
They
Like
kinda
maybe
know what
let's
they're-
just make this happen, and then we don't have to focus so much of our time on making an infotainment system that's going to be a quarter as useful and laggy and kind of dated almost permanently.
Yep.
I mean, you get into like, I drove a car the other day. It was like a 2013 BMW with iDrive, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
At one point, that was
It's like 8 years old.
yeah.
My other big concern is even like Ford, like My Connect system.
Yep.
If that didn't have, think about that. Now remove you. Obviously, you run Apple CarPlay in yours. Remove that. If you had to use that, it's
Yeah.
like
It,
it's kind of like what is going on?
Yeah,
it's like a
it's
toddler's
just-
first like iPad type thing.
yeah. Like, oh, it kind of works.
Yeah,
Yeah. It
But-
gets by,
but they have Apple CarPlay, and all of a sudden it becomes boom.
which kind of it flawlessly works most
Yeah.
of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
I mean, everything has its bugs. What do you got?
I would love to see. So each car manufacturer has their own proprietary way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I I would love to see Linus from Linus Tech Tips build a car, because all the weird like subcomputer systems, like your new electronic e-brakes, your radio, your new electric power steering, all these things could easily be run off of one processing unit.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just have one car company, let's say like Ford. They're like, all right, we're done. We're going to release this new ECU that's not just an ECU. It's actually a computer. So
Isn't that in a way what Tesla does?
I'm not 100% sure, but
I mean, it probably is.
You could remove all of these tiny little gadgets and little boxes under the dashboard by just having one unit.
It's like race cars who run PDMs.
Right,
Distribution
Exactly.
modules. Yeah.
Right.
You just
All solid state.
And the easiest way to, because what they don't have to, they could put the same ECU in every car, and they'd make it modular. So like plugs that you don't need for options that aren't available for that car, just not plugged in.
Yep.
Everything could be streamlined.
And again, it's a little bit different in EV case where there's less mechanical stuff that can be manipulated, but
like every option is like, oh, you want this? We just plug it in.
right.
And if they started doing that, I think
not to that extent, but Volkswagen started to do that with the MQB platform.
Yeah.
Right. And or platforms in general.
Giant
like,
Lego.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, Ford's doing the same with the platform. I don't know what they call it, but it's the same platform for the Maverick, for the Bronco Sport, for the Escape, for a bunch of stuff. It's all the same platform.
Now, I don't know if there's more manufacturing benefits to that, and that's why they're doing it versus functionality.
But
maybe it's both.
Imagine just taking all that shit out from under the dash, like all those little black boxes and stuff.
Right.
They could easily just be a program running on a computer with a processor and memory.
Raspberry Pi.
And then Raspberry Pi could run, I guarantee you, most of it. And if something broke, you just plug it in. And you do diagnostics like a regular computer. If the computer broke, you replace the computer. It's much cheaper.
Right.
Then,
This Mach-E Mustang swap your Mach-E Bronco.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Mach-E Mustang's having a tough go at it.
Yeah.
It's having a hard go.
That becomes the Mach-E Mach.
Did you see its Moose test recently?
It didn't go well.
Oh boy.
Didn't go well.
It
You
was
see the Ionic?
No.
Crushed it.
Really?
Yeah. And then there was one Tesla did it with the Y, maybe?
Yeah.
Crushed it.
Wow. All
Great.
Right. All right.
Mach-E Mustang.
You got a bit of a tank slapper, if you will.
I think they need to go back to the drawing board on that one.
that weight distribution's a little off.
No, just the whole vehicle. I think, I am the biggest Ford fanboy. I bleed blue. But it ain't it, Ford. It ain't it. Figure it out. But this ain't it. It's not the name. My ass is so chapped about the name. But it's not the name. It's you didn't do a great job.
People are liking them.
I think they're cool, but not with a Mustang logo.
They look cool on the road. But like
Very identifiable.
There's just quirky issues. There's like aging issues. There's issues with it, like it being out however long. I mean, not even a year.
Maybe a year. Yeah.
Well,
maybe a year.
It's clearly not money they're after, because they know if they re-release the Fox Body Mustang with that 302 in there,
Daddy would be at the dealership.
I'd be there tomorrow.
Yeah. Literally, I'll grab my sleeping bag and pop up a 10 out front. 2 10s.
What are you doing? I'm just
Told
waiting.
that teaching lady the only numbers I need are 302.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else do we have for news? Anything?
I have just that the Chevy mini pickup truck, the Nova Montana, not coming to the U.S. Looks like shit, but the tiny pickup truck world,
It's coming.
It's coming.
Oh yeah.
It's coming. And Garrett,
Maverick Country.
Maverick Country. Garrett brought up a good point prior to the recording. You should have waited. That we could see a Volkswagen variant.
Yeah, that was rumored in the early talks of Ford and Volkswagen.
Yeah.
The early twisting of the snakes.
They did say it would be a Ranger-based truck, but Corey and I both agree that the Maverick would be much more Volkswagen-esque.
Bit more suitable
I think
of a platform.
they're currently.
I thought it was a Dodge tiny pickup truck they just posted. Everybody was freaking out on Facebook about.
I don't know.
Did it have a Hellcat in it?
Probably
Not yet.
It's a
That's like
2022
2 iterations.
VW Amarok, and it's built on the same platform as the Ford stuff. So I don't know. Maybe shortly we'll see a small.
I don't know, but I've pretty much gone from Volkswagens to a Ford truck my whole life, so It's all mixed in one.
You got a big old honker of a Ford truck now. What is
That's
that? What is that?
91 F350 dually.
Oh boy.
Yeah, big one.
Some real man shit.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to park it. Bigger than my driveway.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
right here, 2021, the Ram 700 mini truck.
It's like the old Dakotas.
It blends Fiat jeans with 1500 styling cues.
oh, Curtis just shut you down. Coming from a dealer, I can tell you how that will never work out a million ways, having just one computer.
I mean, it could. It just somebody hasn't designed the right operating system to run.
That's it. Curtis is going to come in. We're going to hash this out.
I mean, probably wouldn't be good when the power supply fails on that computer.
No, but there are backup supplies.
Or
You
it
can
catches
have-
a virus.
You could have a battery unit that would
Tackable.
back it up.
Right, UPS.
A UPS, yeah. You can. Well, yeah, I guess it. Yeah,
They're
but
not
anything's
reliable either.
hackable. It doesn't have to be open to wide area network though.
Right, it could be.
You have a
just
firewall
local.
in your car.
Just local.
Yeah, at some point, you're just
No,
talking
this
about
is-
a computer.
Yeah.
You're
This
just
is-
talking about a
Yeah, but
computer.
this
is what's going to happen. That's the way
That's
it's
where it's
going.
gotta go,
Yeah, that's
because-
literally the way it's going to go.
You know how easily you could manage a device. My car's. Hey, my car's. Running weird. Oh, don't even worry about bringing it by. Just park it in your driveway and idle it. We're gonna remote to it right now.
Or have you tried turning it off and on again?
I love that. We're gonna need you to go under the dash and reboot the central processing unit. It's
Actually,
located
under
by
there's a
the
little
shifter.
there's a little watch battery. Just unplug that for a second. Give it like 30 seconds. Pop back in. You should be good.
Yeah.
We recently lost power.
Touch something metal before you touch anything on the board.
Are you wearing a grounding strap?
Yeah. Please ground yourself.
How
to
are
the
you wearing
steering
it?
wheel column.
Yeah.
Where is it being
Throw it in your
worn?
throat? Okay.
Put her on your throat. Don't
Is
go
that
too
a
far.
grounding strap or is that something else?
Yeah.
Get the gimp.
Damn,
Anything else for news?
We
Anything?
were watching a video prior to this.
Yes.
MACA.
Asking a question. MACA.
Make Audi cool again.
Will Ken Block be able to do it?
I mean,
He's going to sell a
if
lot
they
of
do an
shirts.
electronic that thing that we saw that Quattro,
RSGT? Quattro?
the
Or
Quattro replica
Oh,
thing.
the
I
car?
hope they buy that company and then just do it.
No, they're probably going to sue him into oblivion.
They sue them. Power play. They sue them and then they steal it.
Yeah, I think it becomes theirs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those things happen.
This is our car now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we there's a lot of speculation. We didn't know where Kenny from the block was going to go.
We had some thoughts.
We had some solid. We knew it was going to be Audi. No, I mean, not like we knew, but I mean, it's kind of like the writing was on the wall. Like,
Yeah.
where else are you going to go?
Yeah.
It was either going to go back to Subaru or go to Audi.
Yeah.
I didn't really know who
And
else
Subaru's
really
really,
had.
focused on the wilderness stuff.
Yeah.
So.
The Land Before Time.
They're trying to leave Earth.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
The
So
land before time.
I don't know. I think it's cool. I mean, we talked about the RS3 thing coming out. I mean, I can only imagine that Ken Blockified, with the full like Hoonigan livery type thing.
And they're slowly trickling out what he's going to, like, there's going to be an Electricana is what came out
okay.
as of today
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to see more and more things leading up to it. Obviously,
Which I was surprised they never took. What do you call it? What's the Cobra Jet thing that they built that was
The electric one?
that Vaughn Gittin was driving?
Yep.
I'm surprised Ken never got behind the wheel to do anything with it.
Yep.
But I think it just wasn't. Timing wasn't good.
Right, it was the end of that
Because
relationship.
Scotto said
probably.
he said they've been talking Audi for a long time, just trying to make things work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm interested to see what comes of it. I mean, we
Make-
always love Kenny from the block
Will
concept.
they make Audi cool again?
MACA.
You know who's not making anything cool again? Acura.
Lay it on us.
I
Tell us
seen
more.
the
Dude,
thing,
that
yeah.
one teaser is enough for me to just say it sucks.
It's not gonna be good.
It is trash.
It's when they
They use
showed
the word swoopy to describe it.
when they showed the front end or a glimpse of the front end and how Integra is molded in the bumper. All right, that got everybody erect, if you will. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
because that was
headlight.
some like throwback.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
little headlight action.
They
You're like,
showed the rear end on this thing.
yeah, Kanye wrote a song about it. Swoopity poop. Poopity swoop.
Is that
Scoopity
a real
poop.
song?
He says scoopity poop, I think.
Okay.
It's poop. That car is poop.
Not good. Doo-doo.
Don't even look it up. Don't
Oh,
even give them the views.
I haven't really.
Don't
really.
even click on it.
They put it out on the Twitter sphere.
If you see it on your Instagram feed, don't even click
What's
on
it? The Acura what?
Integra.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Trash.
Yeah.
If you want to know what it looks like, imagine a G37. Any of them. They all
Will
look
be
the
a
same.
swoopy four-door hatchback.
Swoopy four-door hatch.
Swoopy. They
I mean,
will
just
be
the
swoopy, bro.
rear of it looks literally like, oh, I see. Oh, is that an Infinity? Oh, is that a Genesis? Oh, is that
Could be a G37.
Mercedes? Is that like, okay, I guess if you're going to go with
Which one
swoopy.
do I want to kill him. I kill that one.
I wonder if that's how the engineering meetings went. The development meetings.
I think one there with heart has died.
Listen, Tom. I need
Yeah.
swoopy.
Oh, so
Yeah, swoopy.
this photo here probably got everyone going.
Yeah.
That was the one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. You're like, oh, it could be something, and then you see
Yeah.
the back. And
That photo right there, and also
God
the
damn
not using of the term swoopy
Yeah.
yeah,
was pretty good. Off to a good start.
really, really, the word swoopy was some guy just grabbing that nail. Just
And we love swoops. Love swoops.
Yeah.
Swoops makes perfect sense. However, swoopy on Integra doesn't work.
No bueno. I mean, these like spy camo shots.
See, that's a good shot.
Yeah,
That doesn't
did-
look very swoopy. However, that also only has 2 doors, so I don't know what is happening.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
actually
looking
it's a
at
really
it.
good point.
I don't want to look at it. Somebody I heard said that the 2-door one might be like the TSX.
The TSX that wouldn't make sense.
Like
would
that
it?
wouldn't
like a
be-
new
It
TSX.
should be the other way around.
It went from Integra to RSX. RSX was a 2-door.
yeah.
TSX, I don't even know what that was.
4-door.
That
It
was-
is a 4-door, but I saw
Okay.
somewhere that somebody said it's probably the new TSX.
Okay.
But
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the good version of this car has become unattainable. Unobtainable.
there is no good version.
There absolutely is. Type R, best front wheel joke I've ever made.
B18C5.
Oh, that Type R, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The only Type R,
Yes.
As
the
far as I'm
actual
concerned.
Type R.
and the Civic Type R.
Yeah. Oh my god, I wish.
What, like a 6th gen, 7th gen, 6th gen?
EG.
EGSIR.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool.
Mm.
Captive of Blue.
Wow. All right.
Good color.
Well, there's a lot going on here.
Good
What
color.
else? Do we have anything else for news before we move on?
No, there's more chip shortage stuff I want to dive into to kind of see where this goes, the back and forth battle between both things, but nothing really too much going on.
All right.
Josh came up with this new thing.
We have a new
excited.
segment. A few weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer, I made the comments of, oh, you know what? We're going to start a hotline, and we're going to have people call in. So that's what I did. I have some voicemails here, and I also made us a new song to play us in. So
Love it.
here we go. You can call us on our. You can call us on our. You can call us on your cell phone. I know when that cell phone ring, that can only mean car things. I know when that cell phone ring,
Oh my God.
that can only mean car things.
Wait a minute. Do they? We're still going.
Yep.
Do they hear this?
Yes, they do.
Oh my god.
Is there? It's hot in here.
Which is part of the allure to these first, I don't know, first welcome to first voicemailers, if you will. Oh, it's still playing. It's a long file.
Oh, I was wondering. I was like, is that fucking little box back?
Bring that down.
Yeah.
No, it's just, yeah, I got to clip that,
Well, we've-
folder a little bit.
We've learned 2 things today, I think. Josh can make some slapping beats. And when's your country album drop?
I texted the group. I said, I'm having my first try at R&B.
Yeah, we're all in on the music thing. You got Charlie Jam Band.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're like Steven Seagal.
What?
He does music.
Does he really? Along
Yeah,
with
I think he does like a country album.
Taekwondo or whatever he does.
Yeah.
You ever see him run? It's really funny. So right now I can play us some voicemails. If you feel obliged as well, you can give us a call. 1-840-800-2035, I believe is the number. We should probably look that up before I say it. However, we did receive some voicemails, so here we go. Hopefully this isn't too loud.
Hello, boys and girls. It's English Ben, isn't it? Hello, how you doing? God save the Queen. Cup of tea, lovely jubbly.
Love that.
Off to a solid start. Next, we have, I don't know if it's going to say his name, but here we go.
Bro, what the fuck?
Oh, it's TD's. I'm fucking dying of laughing right now, bro. That's just the funniest thing in history. Oh my gosh.
He had to follow up with another voicemail
miss
because
TDs.
he was so distraught.
Hi, it's TD's. I am here requesting Josh, Chuck, and Corey's services in the Floridian household. I was calling to see if they could come clean my pipes.
Oh,
Look, don't use that. Don't use that.
I think he said don't use that, but
well, we used it, so
yeah, here we go.
we'll pen to the end.
Shook, I just confirmed that you had the. I'm sorry. I was reading and talking, and my brain. It's not possible. I just checked Shook's little post with the cell phone number. You were right. That was the right cell phone.
2035.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
2035.
And then we have this one, which is a random caller.
Just wanted to reach out and ask you about your car's extended warranty. Want to deal with that, boy?
Legend.
And last but certainly not least,
Hey, it's Chuck from the Vibe Roaring Podcast. I'm so glad I called this number because that's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life on the end of it. I'm in New Mexico. Lots of desert and stuff. This is how I'm going to do this podcast from now on. Thanks, guys. Check the news later.
and that is it for our voicemails this week. But again, this is something we're probably going to do moving forward. Maybe not every week, but as they compile and we're going to pick some of the funny and good ones. You can feel free to ask questions. I think you only get 30 seconds or whatever, but
We definitely get to play the song every week, though.
oh, 100%.
Regardless of voicemails, the song gets played.
So I'm glad everybody liked the song.
How did you make that?
So
Were you in here singing?
I was, yes. So Saturday after I recorded with Josh.
That's actually a huge callback we missed, but
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
geez. Yeah. Gee, my God, I forgot all about that. Go check out that episode. So Saturday after he left, I locked all the doors, put on some candles,
made sure I couldn't come in.
made sure nobody could be in here. And I didn't exactly know how it was going to work because I didn't have the beat yet. But I'm like, oh, I gotta
You can hear it.
I gotta
You can hear
remake
the
this
beat.
song. I gotta remake this song. So I recorded some my vocals, if you will.
Yeah, they were vocals.
Went home, laid it down on a track, and here we go.
Laid it down on a track.
Yeah.
So yeah, all about a half hour's worth of effort. But yeah, that's that. You can.
This is what Josh looked like recording it.
You can call us, leave a message, ask us questions. Just another form of everybody out there getting involved. So please feel free to hit us up, and we'll go from there. So with that said, I think we can get on to our. Sorry, I queued it down. Main topic.
The real reason I came today.
Garrett, welcome.
How we doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Just chilling.
How's Project Stink Bug?
It's a project, that's for sure.
You are 2 weeks off your most recent race?
2-3 weeks, something like that.
Okay. Please tell us what that was.
I raced the first ever Class 11 race at Crandon International Raceway.
So that was the first ever.
For Class 11.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't know. Right. So
There's a rumor that those cars had raced there like in the 70s when it was like the infancy of the class. But
okay.
Not many people were racing brand new bugs at the time.
Right.
Is that Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
So you made the trek out there. Did you drive out, fly out?
We drove out. Me and my old man, we took the camper, the trailer, the whole rig out there, and me, him, and the dogs, and drove a day and a half, 2 days out there, and
Yep.
made it happen.
So for Class 11 stuff, do you have a co-driver?
I do, and normally that is Mickett, who some people with the podcast may be familiar with. He's been talked about by Corey and some others.
And we made a video.
He came on.
Yeah, you interviewed us. So.
And right, and that was from the Mint 400.
Yep. And unfortunately, his boss wouldn't give him the time off. So
Okay.
yeah,
That son of a bitch.
So tell us about the whole experience, or how did you even get there? How did that? Is it invite only? Just enter?
So the race itself is it's done every Labor Day weekend, and it's been going on for years. It's a huge race. There was about, I think they said 55 or 65,000 people in attendance for the weekend.
Oh, wow.
God.
So it was a huge race.
Yeah, Pastrana was there.
Pastrana was there. Von Gittin was there.
Faust? Tana?
Faust was there, I believe. Yep. There's some big names there. And so they do it every Labor Day weekend. It's short course racing. So if you're not familiar with that, it's, you see Pro 4, Pro 2 trucks, which are very similar to, trophy trucks you'd see in the desert. But they're made for short course racing. So they're a lot lighter. You don't have the spare tires.
Yeah, don't have to worry about fuel and additional jerry cans.
It's more like the short course is almost like F1 in a way, where you're measuring out how much fuel you need to just get enough of the race. You want to be as light as possible. Just prep the vehicles as light as you can, but still keep them strong enough to finish the race.
Yep. How many classes or the event itself? How many days is it?
I think our first practice was on Thursday. I think I practiced Thursday, raced Friday, had the day off on Saturday, and then the main race is on Sunday.
Yep.
But fortunately, I made that extra eventful for myself throughout practice, both races.
I was going to say, you had a little mishap?
I've had a few that weekend.
So before the weekend, the car was ready?
The car was ready. It was great. I had a brand new motor just put in, a couple days before we left. That was something that when we raced at the Mint, we didn't finish that race. And, that was, kind of our race budget kind of ran out by the time we finished building the whole car. That was the first race we made it for. So when it was time to, get to the motor, the wallet was a little light for that. So we did what we could, got out there, raced, and didn't finish, unfortunately. So after that, you guys did the interview of us, and that caught the eye of a few people, and very fortunately, they reached out to me after me posting that online a few places, and they helped us get a motor built that was competitive to be up there with the top runners of the class. So,
yep.
I got that motor in, probably a day before we had the car in the trailer to head there, and yeah, it was good up until the first practice.
You drove around at home a little bit, though, right? Just a little bit. I mean, obviously, we're not going to driving compared to racing, but like...
I mean, I can get fully into it. It was
you're going to get fully into it.
It was a hell week before we got there. Yeah. So I had leaking axle seals. So if you're familiar with bugs, they're either swing axles or IRS cars. I have a swing axle. So in the transmissions, your axles are, pushed into the transmission. It's not a CV type axle like a more modern cars. There are these fulcrum plates that they fit into, and I had the worst time ever trying to get the axle seals sealed in. If you don't do it the right way, you can pop them out, and it was just a mess. And it was one of those things that...
This sounds like a job for Noah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a great job for Noah.
Yeah, you need patience, and I did not have any that week. It was hot, sweaty, a lot of blood, sweat.
Bad words.
Probably some tears by the end of the week. We had it all going. But finally got them in and drove the car around the parking lot at work a couple times, took it to a little patch of dirt, and then it was the torrential rain pour when we took it out. So I drove it for like 10 minutes, loaded it in the car, and we went racing.
She good.
Good enough.
It'll do.
Yeah. And then... So, we got there, and Thursday was the first practice. And I, the most I drove that car was, the 30 miles at the Mint.
Yeah.
Then we had a little bit of a pandemic, and I didn't touch the car because
all things were...
I had to keep things at work moving along so I could actually afford to go racing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's important.
And the races got canceled.
Yeah, the races got canceled, and, everything was just put on hold for a bit. So I drove the car for the 10 minutes before, hopped on the practice track, and we let it rip. And I was up there keeping speed with some of the guys that have won a few of these races in the past, and I'm still very new to the class. I've raced other things for years. The past 15 years I've been racing either
side by sides, four-wheelers
for 10 years, side by sides for a few years, and then I thought the Bug looked really cool and thought it would be cheaper, but it's not. So
wait, you thought the Bug would be cheaper?
Yeah, the UTVs are it's kind of one of those things that, you know, the more competitive you want to be, the more money you're spending.
I was going to say
F1.
Williams.
F1, baby.
Williams.
Yeah.
Keeping up with the Joneses, if you will.
Absolutely. You know,
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those things that, you know, your pocket can buy some of the skill, you know. Like most racing, it's, you know, suspension's very important, things like that. So if you have the money to spend on that suspension, you might be able to outdrive somebody that doesn't have that stuff.
Right.
Whereas, you know, you could have all the skills in the world, but if you can outdrive that car, you can't keep up with the guy that has the money for it and the skills. So it gets tough to a certain point, but yeah, the bugs just looked fun, so we did that, and now we're just driving from New England to the other side of the country to go race now.
So it was cool because I did watch some of it was live streamed by Red Bull.
Okay.
So
I haven't watched much of the live stream. I haven't gone back and watched it.
Okay.
I've heard
so
from a few people that watched
you can, it's like a crazy, like multiple parts, I think like 4-hour long live stream.
Yeah, because it was the Red Bull Crandon Cup was the official name of the race.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of trophy trucks, bunch of different stuff, a bunch of really weird commercials. And finally you get to class 11. And I did watch, like I seen the start of the race.
Was that the night race? Or
this was the day race.
The day race.
It did show some of the night race before as well.
Yeah.
I didn't see you on the night race.
Yeah, because we didn't make all of that race.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I
Garrett
guess,
chose the BYO fireworks.
Yeah, we get some good pictures of that too.
Oh man! So, all right, practice.
Practice was great. You know, like I said, I was keeping a good pace with some of the guys that have been doing this a lot longer than I have. You know, I wasn't necessarily getting passed by them, but they weren't pulling on me either. So we were keeping a good pace, and there was this big jump in the back that, you know, you can watch Pastrana launch off the thing in his Pro 4 truck, but it's way cooler to see a 40, 50-year-old bug jumping off it.
Which they were getting 3-4 feet in the air.
Yeah, and we were doing similar with a lot less suspension.
How fast were you going when at that jump?
We were probably going around 40, 50. You know, if you were really cooking around that corner, because that was a corner you could carry some speed from, you'd be 50-ish maybe.
Yep.
It wasn't one. I didn't have my full desert setup with my iPad for my GPS, so I didn't see anything to see speed, but you can roughly gauge it, you know, from what gear you're in, your RPMs.
Right. Right.
I could just shift into third gear into that if you really carried your speed. And when I did that, that was when I popped the coil wire off and it was just dead on the track. And it's very similar to, you know, like NASCAR, where you have something happen, you can't get out of your car on a live track. Where desert racing, you know,
Mickey
and I
got
were
get out and fix it.
Elbows deep into the fuel cell, making sure the pickup was still connected.
Right.
Trucks driving by, and you know, this racing, you're just sit in the car and
wait for
hang out,
wait to be pulled away.
Yeah. So that happened. I had a bad coil that cooked my ignition too. So it had this. No one there had ever seen it either. It was one of the old parts that I had from the original bug motor, and you know, I should have been running a Bosch blue coil. That's, you know, I'm still learning the class, so had something everyone hasn't seen before, and it was a part that failed. So you know, the coil got hot enough. 2 hours later, the thing was still hot, and
oh wow,
it was all swelled up. It was lucky the thing didn't explode or something. Cooked the ignition, so we swapped the distributor in with a fresh electronic ignition, new coil. It was good to go. We did the parade the next day. That was Friday was the next day, so that was all swapped. Car was great, you know, voltage was all what it should be, and you know, it was probably just one of those freak things, but that's the way my luck goes. The next day we did the parade into town. That was all good, and that's kind of what kicks off the event for the races for the weekend. So as soon as you get back from the parade, you know, there's some of the classes that didn't even go because as soon as it's over,
just too tight of
the track opens and they're practicing or qualifying for the racing. So
yep,
that was Friday night. We had the last race of the night, and that was like our qualifying race. So I started in the back because, you know, practice. We picked spots for that, I think. We found a drunk kid in the pits that could barely stand up, and he pulled our numbers out of a hat, and that's how we drew who was having starting.
So the class participants had to handle the how it was done? Or
yeah, we were kind of like the bastard children at the race.
Okay,
there was a few different organizations, and nobody really wanted to claim us, even though everyone wanted to see us race. Nobody really wanted to deal with us.
Right.
So
Bunch of misfits.
exactly, yeah. Yeah, so everyone thinks it's the West Coast hippies showing up with all the bugs.
Right.
Right. So luckily the class is great. Everybody gets along very well, and some of the old timers, have been around this just for years, so they kind of grab the bull by the horns. And like I said, we picked a kid that there's a YouTuber that's in the class, so there's some kid that knew who he was. He's like, hey, you can come pick our starting order for this race. So we picked that, and I think I was the first pick in the second row. So I picked towards the inside of the corner, and no one really told us how the start was going to go. So they kind of, and I've all the different types of racing, it's normally, they'll give us all a warning, and the flag will go up, and then it
5
drops.
second warning or whatever.
They didn't tell anybody what the starting procedure was. They had yellow flags, green flags, and just kind of went. The way I was on the second row, you couldn't even see the flag man, so I had no clue the race even started.
When everybody else goes.
And everyone goes, and it was myself, a few others, just a horrible start. So I started working my way through, and I think I made it 3 laps, and got over the start-finish line, and it sounded like you took a coffee can full of just miscellaneous hardware and just threw it down a flight of stairs.
Oh, no.
It was awful, just out of nowhere. And I thought I blew the transmission, and it was a big puff of smoke and maybe a little bit of a fireball. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, I know we can't get out of the car, but I'm not going to burn in this damn car. If you'll watch F1 this year, there's some fireworks that happen, and I wasn't waiting around for anything like that. So I'm, harness is popping off, I'm ready to go, and it is short course, so we have radio. So my father, he's up in the spotter stand. I'm like, hey, are we on fire right now? Because we can't see anything. There's smoke. The lights are going. It just looks like a fireball. He's no, you're all good. So we sit tight. We had the fire extinguishers ready to go just in case.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, we watched the rest of that race from the infield of the track. And
where they put you.
Yes. So I got towed back, and I raced with a few of my old UTV race teammates, and they towed us back to the pits, and we start looking and can't find anything. And it's nighttime, it's probably 9 o'clock at night there, so it's even later here. But
I'll say I got a text from you I was sound asleep. I was pretty late when you sent me that message.
Yeah, and then we didn't see anything at first. We're like, what the hell happened? And then finally, you see the end of the rod sticking through the top of the block, and that you just get that sinking feeling in your stomach, because I had a lot of people help me out, but it's still a lot of money to go racing.
Right, yeah, everything.
I put a lot of my time, effort into this stuff, and it sucks when you have just shit luck like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And that just ended the night. I was just like, well, we've been doing this long enough. We'll sit back and watch the boys race.
Enjoy being there at least.
Yeah.
1:22 a.m.
Yeah.
I got this photo. And obviously it's not for, anyone listening, but there's most certainly a hole.
Yeah.
It's a pretty large hole. And my reply is that a hole in the case. So
yeah. And so that's the other thing. There's horrendous cell service there. There's a picture of us in the parade and my car, a few of the others, and it's Crandon population 1920. For that weekend, like I said, though, there's 65,000 people at every hotel, every Airbnb, camping there. So the cell towers are so overloaded, your
being
phones
destroyed,
aren't working at all. So, I tried, got in touch with my girlfriend, let her know because she was watching, make sure we didn't get hurt or anything like that. Texted Corey because I knew you guys were watching, a few others, and it was just kind of that heartbreak you deal with.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, the motor builders I have, they are so reliable through the years. It's I have 2 brothers that build mine, Sletton Engineering. And, they've been doing this since they were kids. Their old man's been doing it since the start of the race. And, they've never, knock on wood, had a motor blow up as, a direct problem from something they did.
Yeah.
It's always been a parts failure or something like that. So, we're looking at that, and it's like over revving or something to make it have that happen. And these cars don't have rev limiters, anything like that. It's pretty old school, as you'd imagine a 68 bug would be.
Yeah, fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
Kinda.
So, you know, I'm pretty hard on myself at that point because I'm like, oh, what the fuck? It's something that I did that blew up the car. You know, it sucks. So it wasn't until the next day, you know, we're taking the skid plate off, looking at a few other things, and I find a broken bolt, and it's all ARP hardware on the whole motor.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was, you know, talking to you guys a little bit before, I should have grabbed it so you could see, but there's this little, you know, it looks like a hairline crack in the bolt, and we're going to, I think, send it to get it, you know, Granville tested. You can see, you know, if there's a weak point in where that broke compared to what the rest of the bolt is. But, you know, at least seeing that, it, you know, made me feel like it wasn't something that I directly did.
It was just hardware failure.
Yeah.
Versus,
You know, even if it was me over revving that did it, you know, because you're racing, and like I said, you were just barely in third gear at the fastest point on the track, so you're first, second, and you know it doesn't take much to miss shift, and you know I could have over revved and blown it up, or it was a bolt. So it's one of those things.
It was a bolt.
I'm gonna go with it's a bolt.
It was a bolt.
Yeah.
It was a bolt for sure.
So what's next for the car?
Well, the rest of the story with that's not the end of the story.
Oh,
there.
okay. So it didn't stop
Wait,
there.
you don't know this?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Take us home.
So, you know, we're in this field of, you know, I think it was like 570 teams or something of that sort that are all there racing. There's a lot of Volkswagen powered cars that are there. So we drove around the pits on mini bikes and quads and looking for everybody to swap motors with. You know, it's the end. It's, you know, the guys that normally race, this is the last race of the year. So,
Okay.
you know, I'm like, I got a credit card. Who wants to sell me a motor? We'll Venmo you. We'll do whatever. You know, you can be my co-driver. You can drive my car. I don't care. I want to see the thing on the track.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had a bunch of the guys in the class that were, you know, like I said, at first I was pretty defeated and just done with it. But then they're like, you know, you got to get out there. You know, you made it all this way. I was one of 2 East Coast drivers there. Like
Matter of fact, on the stream, they mentioned you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Say, or didn't say your name or anything particular, but said, you know, guys in that car from Massachusetts.
Yeah. We're the psychos where everyone with a desert car normally lives near the desert, and we're just no deserts around here. So either way, you know, everybody in the class super supportive, helpful, and you know, we're looking around, and we finally found, you know, one of the race buggies, different class, similar class, you know, where it can be like the stock spec type motor. Someone willing to let us borrow a motor. This is a stranger that I've never met, never heard of his race program, anything. He's just like, yeah, take my spare motor.
Well, like just take it. Like
Just take
he
it,
had
use-
just one
use-
on like a
use it-
shelf,
use
or
it. It's just sitting in the back of the trailer. That was our spare motor for the weekend. We just won the race we were doing. Take the spare motor. I don't
Was
care.
it a pink car?
No.
Okay.
We got to get into that part of the story.
Okay.
So this was someone that wasn't in our class at all. It was a complete stranger. I've never met. They'd never heard of us, anything. They're like, oh, those bugs are really cool. Yeah, take my motor.
What were they driving?
They were driving just like your single seat, like buggies is what they call it.
Okay.
It's like a tube chassis type of deal. I think it's like the hill climb car that Blake's.
oh, okay,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It's similar to
Yeah.
those.
Like a sandrail type style.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's much more sandrail-like. Yeah.
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 So it was one of those, and they have like a stock class, a modified class. So the stock class is similar to ours. So he's letting us use it, and you know, I'm getting ready to pull my motor, everything. You know, find some of that hardware, a few other things, and getting ready to swap it and go to do the oil lines, and you can see where there's a repair and where his AN line fittings were, and mine were a different size for what he was running, so we were going to swap them, and it was just those threads just didn't feel right, and we kept asking, you know, will you sell us this motor? And they didn't really want to. They were just going to let us borrow it. They had no problem with that. They didn't really want to sell it.
Yeah.
So I started pulling their lines out, and I'm like, this thing's been repaired. I just don't have a good feeling about it. And you started to spin the lines, and I didn't want to blow up a second motor that weekend.
Right. You had to own somebody else's.
Exactly. Someone I've never met. You know, if it was one of the guys in the class, you know, I'm still new to meeting a lot of them, but, you know, at least it's someone that I know online, even if I don't personally know them yet.
Yeah.
So I ended up giving the motor back to that guy, and, you know, we were backing in like, oh, well, screw it. We're here. We'll watch everyone race. And, you know, couple of the guys, they didn't have co-drivers. So like, if anything, I'll go co-drive with someone and just go have fun still.
Yep.
And then the guy with the pink car, like, hey, we have a spare motor. You guys need a motor. It's pretty much a long block at this point, but if you want to pull everything off yours, we can swap it. So that was about, 9 o'clock on Saturday night. Yeah, so it's the day before like the main race.
Because the main race is on Sunday, right?
On Sunday, yeah. Because we were going to spend Saturday swapping the other guy's motor in. Wasn't going to work, so we were just like, all right, we're done. They're like, I thought you guys you had that motor. What are you doing? Like, oh, no, we didn't like it. They don't want to sell it. We don't know them. So they're like, well, take ours. Just use it. So we start stripping my motor, and like I said, it's like 9 o'clock at night. It's starting to rain out. It's, these guys from Mexico, we've never met in person before.
Yeah.
Everyone has that online presence now.
Yeah.
Social media, it's great. But we've never met these guys. We don't know them from a hole in the wall, really. And they're like, oh, take our motor. Use it. Come race against us and take our spare motor. We made it to the main race. You guys need to race it. Here you go.
Yep.
So we ended up swapping that Sunday morning, and it's their old spare race motor, single port motor, which a lot of us run dual port air-cooled motors, which you'll know the difference if you're into them. But you get a little more out of the dual port motors. He hadn't run it in 2-3 years. It was his old pre-runner motor. He had it set up for a different style car. So he's like, I don't know. Well, the carb's all good. We ran some fresh gas through it. Like, we'll see how it is once it fires up. We swap the motor in. Hook up the batteries, throw some fresh gas in it. Barely push the start button on the thing, fires right up, and it's just the healthiest sounding motor. It's great. Everything's running great. We retimed it, make sure everything's all good, and it was running awesome. Ran it up and down the street a couple times and said, well, screw it, we're going to go racing. And once again, we're in the second row. Horrible start.
The drunk person picked the thing again?
I could see it more this time, but
okay.
It was just weird. Nobody told us we were doing this. It was a different style start this time, too.
I mean, did the girl throw up a bra in the middle? Like
nothing. It was just, some middle-aged guy with a bunch of flags. Who wants to see that?
That's fair.
So the night before, they had flags.
Yep.
Sunday, it's daylight out. They had cards that they would drop.
I was going to say, I seen this card thing.
And nobody told us we were doing that.
I could barely see it on TV.
So there was like 3 or 4 of us that kind of sat there on the start.
Have you ever
we were like, what's going on?
I sat in the stink bug.
Yeah.
I mean, I sat in our warehouse and I could barely see out of it.
Yeah.
Never mind, like, you're all suited up. You get your helmet on. You've got all these other cars around you, all this other bullshit around you.
And it's we got Hans devices on, everything. You're not moving around much. Like,
there's no left and right.
Just go
dead ahead.
And that's the other big thing about this Crandon track. It's a land rush start.
Yeah.
So everybody in the class starts at once.
So we go right. You're how many wide?
I think we were 8 wide.
Cramming down to probably where you can get 4 wide-ish.
Yeah. So it's.
I think 4 wide would be a little generous.
Yeah.
4 wide at speed.
Yeah.
How many were racing?
There were, I think, 17 or 18 of us.
Quick math. Yeah, it was a couple rows.
Yeah.
2 1/4.
It's like a bunch of ladybugs trying to squish through a, I don't know, hole.
I think they made the back row a little bit bigger than the front row just to, they figured
try to filter.
Funnel
Right,
anyways.
yeah.
And that kind of gave you, your qualifying. You wanted to finish better to get on that front row. You
Right.
get that little bit of a jump. So, yeah, we all take off, sound like a bunch of angry bees buzzing down the front turn. And we hit that front turn probably going like 60, 70-ish. And,
oh, wow.
Like you said, sitting in that car,
it's,
you're driving the thing at a certain point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's no power or anything in there. It's just you and the machine.
And how quick does it react to steering inputs?
You don't have to say anything else.
Yeah.
You feel a lot more than you can put into it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a minor suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah. And
will it, won't it?
And the other thing is, because it's short course, they have water trucks, and they were a little overzealous with the watering. So we're turning, and it's like driving in the snow at a certain point. You're
Massive understeer.
You're on a clay racetrack.
Yeah.
A bunch of water. You can steer as hard as you want. It's just going where
it's
you're going.
It's going to do what
it's just slip and slide.
Yeah. So we take off horrible start again. I made a few passes, and we were settling in, and a little bumping going on, nothing crazy. Setting up in the corners.
Rubbin's racing.
At this point, the axle seals that I was talking about, I was ready to just barely make the trip for.
Yep.
They're not sealing at this point. So I have transmission fluid shooting around as the wheels spin into my rear brakes. So there's no rear brakes on the car. Like I said, it was just anything that could go wrong went wrong. Just similar to the Mint trip. It might just be a me thing. I don't know. I'm not that horrible of a mechanic. I did make like 14 years of racing, no mechanical motor failures, anything. It's just this past little patch has been pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we're no rear brakes, no nothing. Swapped motor, make 2 laps, then the throttle cable, just nothing. Pedal to the floor,
dude.
Pedal to the floor, right in front of like the main grandstands, and that's where we watched the race from.
Oh.
So the cable didn't break. It was just horrible luck. It's like a little ferrule that the cable comes up through and into the carburetor, and it's just something slipped.
The end just slipped off. And
yeah, and everything was all Loctited in. It was tight. You needed a couple pairs of pliers to snap the thing loose. It just didn't seat right. And
how many laps did you actually complete?
Maybe 10. Between practice.
Yeah, I was saying between everything.
Yeah. So you drove 50 hours for 10 laps?
No, it was like 20 hours.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
So
my heart is aching for you right now. It really is.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. Maybe my parents are just more crazy than me, but when we first got into racing, it was myself, my parents, my sister, and an extended cab pickup truck, 2 dirt bikes, and a tent. And we drove all the way to Georgia for the first race we ever did.
You're used to it now.
Yeah. We're just.
Well, the first time I went to his house, I had known he'd done this stuff, whatever. And then I pull up and it's like big camper. I'm like, oh, you do this. Oh yeah, there's like a trail. Oh, this isn't like something you just kind of. It's like a it's like a for funsies thing. I was like, oh no, this is like for real. Like you've got a whole giddy up to do this. Like camper, trailer, the whole 9.
Exactly. Most people go on family trips. We would go racing all over the country, which is really cool. My parents are my best friends. Not a lot of people could say that. I'm very fortunate. And, we all love the camping aspect of it, getting to the track. You get your friends at the track. You see these people from all over the country. Like I was saying, my co-drivers for this were my friends from Ohio that are an old UTV team I was on. I hadn't seen them in, 3-4 years, and it's cool to get to the track. You see all these people. It's just like going to car shows,
Right. It's that there's a whole scene,
the friends, everything.
Yeah, and community attached to it.
Yeah.
So that was there cheering? Did they cheer?
So you know what? We did get cheered for because the throttle cable popped out. That and like I said, you have to sit in the car.
That's. I just feel like that's just.
So the track guy came over. I'm like, if you have a pair of pliers, I can get this car running right now. He's like, well, you get 35 minutes till the next race, so do your thing. So I literally took the guy's Leatherman, held a little ferrule, backed it off, got the cable back in, tightened it up, and drove in front of 65,000 people, and everyone's screaming at us because we're the only one going backwards on the track to get off of it at that point. And it's I've done a lot of racing on like national circuits and stuff before, done, through Vegas, down the strip, all that stuff. But that crowd was absolutely massive. It's like, it'd be like driving through Gillette Stadium with a full Patriots crowd looking at you. It's wild.
Well, it's like when we went to Loudon. Like when we went to Loudon, I think there's somewhere around the same number of people there. And there was every bit of that there.
Yeah.
And
you're in the car.
It's a lot of people.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
In you. You can hear the people, feel the people cheering, everything. It's pretty cool.
So you're gonna go back?
Of course.
He's a glutton for punishment.
Yeah. I love it.
So did you give that motor back? Did you take it out? Did you end up buying it?
We took the motor out there. By the end of the weekend, everyone always jokes, Volkswagen motor come out in a half hour. I probably had it down to 25 minutes by the end of it. You put a jack under it, 4 bolts, couple fuel lines, and then it's done. So we took it out, and I sent it back with the guys going back to the West Coast.
Pink car.
Pink
right?
car is Mexico. No.
Okay.
They
won
drove all the way from Mexico.
Because didn't they win?
They won
the main event.
And that's
okay.
His name's Cisco Bio. He's actually the one that let us borrow the motor.
Okay.
So I was very happy.
Shouts to Cisco Bio.
Shouts to Cisco.
Team Cisco. Team Bio.
Yeah. And their whole family's into racing too, and it's kind of cool.
It's awesome.
Father son family from Mexico. Father son family from
I was just going to say the same but different, right?
Yeah.
Just I'm sure the stories that could be shared.
You look at the map. We're on opposite sides.
Complete.
In the middle. And,
yeah.
It's cool to get that stuff together.
Yeah.
Never went so far to swap engines.
Seriously.
Long drive.
Seriously. So you took the motor out?
Took the motor out, brought the car back, leaking axle seals in our trailer, no motor.
Yep.
Little defeated, but we're prepping it back for the Mint 400 again.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask. Mint 400 first, right? In schedule-wise?
Yep. That is, I think I have a countdown on my desk at work. I think that's like 65 days from now.
Okay, so it's happening in
December.
December, the first week of December.
Yeah.
So I think the events start the 1st. I think we race on the 4th or 5th, maybe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Actual laps for Jesus.
Oh, no, this is Mint 400's...
it's 100-mile laps.
Yeah. Actual laps for
yeah.
Jesus. It's his birthday.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Merry Christmas, Christmas.
I'm more of a Hanukkah guy.
Oh, shalom. Jesus.
Tough crowd around here.
Oh, my God.
It's hot in this room, right? It's not just me.
He's still flustered. Got him all flustered from the R&B song.
So the motor that went boom, did you send that back to be fixed? You have to find out.
We're going to salvage anything we can out of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
The block from the motor that I raced at the Mint last year is going to be our new race motor.
Okay.
So this week...
Remind me, what happened at the Mint? What was the failing point?
I don't really know, other than the motor we got wasn't, it was supposedly freshly rebuilt.
Yep.
I don't think it was. It
But
was,
there's
it was lipstick on a pig. I think they just painted parts and that was it.
Yeah.
So tearing it apart, I figured a valve stuck, something like that. We did have the fuel pump die on it.
Yep.
So I figured to start it for fuel. I had a valve stick. Not super common, but it would make sense.
Yeah.
The fuel pump dying, it runs lean and something doesn't go right. The only thing I could find pulling it apart is, if where the cylinders sleeve into the block, if one of those gaskets blew a little bit, because, Mickett was obviously with me, and, we were coming through a whoop section, and it was literally, foot to the floor, get over all these bumps, and it was just like a light switch, just nothing. So
Yep.
I don't know if something just shook loose or, one of those, the cylinder, the studs backed off, and I don't really know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's a lot to ask of a vehicle like that. Just to be honest, like it's a lot to be like, hey, you know what?
Even
You're
the
barely
race.
capable of achieving road,
Right.
driving.
Right. barely capable.
but I'm gonna ask you to do 100-mile laps through the middle of the desert in Nevada.
I was gonna say even
Like it's a lot.
even
you see the trophy trucks that can barely finish these races.
Right.
And
Yeah.
to
Right.
do it in that, it's
even the
definitely-
laps at a track is
Yeah.
it's a brutal undertaking for a vehicle.
Yeah, it's an experience. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Living through it, right? Just getting through it is achievement enough.
It's about to be a religious experience.
Yeah.
Did you get that
for,
one?
for Jesus? Is that for Jesus?
Yeah,
For
for
Christmas.
For Christ.
It's in December. Get it?
Jesus is born. The baby
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, 60-something days, whatever you said.
Yeah.
How are the axles sealing?
Horrible. I think my dad's pissed. We got a new trailer not too long ago.
Yeah, how's it looking?
Really broke it in.
I don't think the new paint's gonna stick to the floor.
No.
No, he wasn't too happy about that. But
Might need to buy like a carpet or something from Job Lot. And roll it
I
down.
had the carpets you put in your garage. If you doing an oil
Yeah,
change.
yeah.
I tucked one under it. It didn't do much though.
It just
No.
absorbed it and
I
held
think
it in one spot.
He moved it, I think, when we were loading the car though. So I think it's kind of his fault.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell him.
Yeah. Let sleeping dogs lie.
So as it sits right now, motor's
I
disassembled.
think today is the 29th. My block that I stripped should be in California tomorrow. So once that gets there, we'll actually, make sure it's the proper block. That's what we want to build off.
Yeah.
And because there's a couple different style blocks. This should be a dual relief block where you can do like a full flow oil system, a few other things they do to them. We'll make sure that's the right one and figure out what I fully grenaded in the motor and build it back, build it better.
Go from there.
Yeah.
60 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like drifting to me. I mean,
It's fully is.
motorsport.
It's fully
yeah.
drifting.
It's
yeah.
fully
Yeah.
drifting. I would
Community,
think
blowing shit up, breaking axles.
No, motorsport. I mean,
Leaking stuff.
drifting, any off-road race, drag racing, like it's all going to have.
It's ups
you
and
know
downs.
what to fucking get.
Lots of downs.
Mainly down.
Yeah.
They bust your
Mostly.
balls for battery tie downs over there?
What I didn't have a cover on my positive.
We supposed
terminal.
to?
I was supposed to.
Oh,
So that was at Tech. So that was the other thing. Like I said, nobody wanted to claim us. So one of the guys that was running Tech was super by the book, and everyone else is like, no, they're all good. So the guys that teched me were supposedly who teched me in Vegas, and there are some things that we didn't change on the car because
Right.
like going 30 miles, you didn't brake much on the car, so we
Yeah.
pretty much just put a motor in it, wash the car off, change some stickers, and that was
Right.
about it.
Right. Right.
And he's like, "There's no way this thing would have passed there." I'm like, I'm not arguing with you, man, but I go, I got the sticker on the door still that you guys teched me there. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'll change what I need to, but so it's just like the little trick, like put duct tape over the battery terminal. He's like, "All right, cool." I'm like, "All right, whatever, man. Whatever makes you sleep at night." Sure. I'm all for the safety thing.
Just
but,
men lie, women lie. That sticker don't lie. Pass tech. In Vegas, you did it. You signed it.
Matter of fact, is that your
So
signature?
after that, though, they wanted everything from, fire rated socks, the baklavas,
Yep.
suits, underwear, everything.
Who's checking the undies?
Right? So I'm like,
you have to go in front of a panel. Is
I'm
this?
like, I don't have any of this stuff. No one.
Yeah.
That stuff's normally the racing we do. You have a full fire suit,
Mhm.
baklava, or some neck gaiters, things like that. You follow the rules, but no one told us we need underwear, socks, that stuff. So everyone's scrambling and
just
there's not enough
borrowing one pair. There's just one pair around.
No, so my,
everybody sharing.
that's my co-driver. He was in his race suit because he raced his UTV. He's not wearing the stuff. He's got extras. And if you see him, he's even smaller than Mick it is. So I've got his underwear and like spare socks. And I mean, I'm a little bit bigger than Mick. I'm a similar height, but I'm bigger. So to see me with these little tiny pair of underwear is kind of funny.
It's 2021, man.
But hey,
they can't say anything.
Exactly. Yeah. No discrimination here.
Just tuck it in.
That's how I wear them.
Gotta walk slow. I'm
Tight.
busting at the seams.
It's like a swimmer. I shave my arms and put these tight shorts on.
Yeah. I'm quite literally falling apart down here. Jesus, man.
Dude, why do you have a lump on your thigh? Oh, those are my balls. They actually have been relocated.
Are you okay?
It's very hard to breathe in this thing.
Jeez, then you get the suit on, then you get the harness on.
It's
And everything's
there's-
breaking on this man.
Yeah, not everything's in order when you're sitting
You
in
should
place.
really try and see if you can have kids anymore.
You know how upset I'd be if my balls were on my butt cheek and I'm trying to fix a throttle cable? I'd be livid.
Jumping a 50-year-old Volkswagen.
Yeah. Jesus.
Give me a fucking break, tech guy.
My balls are in my stomach, huh?
I'm literally inside myself.
What a fucking mess. What a mess.
All right, everything's fixed. Let's go. Motor blows. Come on!
I squeezed into this for nothing.
Well, I'm fucking wearing it now.
I lost weight for this.
Imagine what it felt like taking a book.
What a series of unfucking fortunate events, dude.
The sigh of relief. Oh my god.
I drove 22 hours just for this.
Let me tell you something. I changed my socks after I went drifting, and taking just normal socks off, I'm like, oh man, can't wait to shower. I can't imagine pulling those fucking underwear off.
Oh yeah.
Did you were camping there too, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Were there showers?
It's more of glamping if you've seen the camper.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a single family home. It really is.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Well, just at least there was water access.
Yeah.
Just to,
It has a bath and a half in the camper.
right.
so.
Yeah. At least some comfort.
Somewhere to put your head down at night.
Right. It's just
Most home amenities.
something.
Jesus
And you
Christ.
do this over and over again.
Hey, I mean, we like I said, we started roughing it though. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Yeah, you've paid your dues.
come up.
Yeah. No, this is long, hard road.
I'll tell you what, this man will never forget a pair of underwear as long as he lives.
I was going to say, so now you're just going to invest in the stuff just to have it?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I assume the big differential was it was a track. You know, like
Yeah, they like I said, all the different organizations, they had track rules.
Yeah.
They had core off-road rules, and then we raced under the Ultra 4 rules, which
okay,
and those are like the big trucks, like Von Gittin Jr.'s racing, like the Bronco that came out there. They were racing off-road before the Bronco. They were racing those there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we
That's
went
cool.
under their rules where you don't need the fire underwear and
Should ask Vaughn if he's got.
Vaughn,
Vaughn, you got a spare?
he's
Vaughn,
a
you
little
got
more
something I
on
can
my
squeeze
side.
in?
Yeah, I'd say Vaughn's a little more relative.
Yeah, he's a little more robust.
Yeah, it's like going out to Tanner for a pair of underwear. It's like give an adult.
You couldn't borrow Travis's. The fucking the size of the jug would just be gigantic.
Yeah.
Might be able to slip one nut in there.
Ah, Jesus.
One's just out.
Okay. The things you don't think of when you're going racing.
No, of course not. Of course not.
So you're all signed up for the Mint.
Yeah, we've been signed up since before it got canceled due to COVID. So
Right.
we're ready.
I know. I was going to say, right. You guys were chomping
we
at
were
the bit
hoping
just to get
to
back.
not blow up a motor and we'd just be, wash it. Do something.
I'm sorry, I just imagine them attacking you for that, and they're gonna be like, "All right, you have your
Show me your
underwear,"
underwear.
and then they go, "Did you bring your mask?" God damn it!
Adding insult to injury.
Yeah.
That tech guy.
Oh.
My God.
Well, his last name is Savage, so if you're gonna
Oh,
be a
jeez.
savage,
Just
you gotta be
fucking
like-
lives up to it.
No, he's actually his story is pretty cool. He's into the racing stuff, but he also does a lot of stuff with NASA. So the
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's where
the
that
Mars
explains it.
rovers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
His company's built them. So-
Does he know?
Yeah.
Huh?
Does he know
Yeah.
about the other life forms?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he knows.
Yeah, he must know.
Yeah.
He'll be on the Double Dark Revival
Yeah.
podcast for you guys.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Uh,
Did he talk like Randy Savage?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wear your fireproof underwear.
Slim Jims everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It just sounds very like there's a problem all the time.
Anyone can race, but Hulk Hogan. Oh no.
What does he say about the? If you're the cream of the crop, you
Always
rise to the top. Yeah.
To the top. Oh yeah.
All right. This has gotten to places I
Speaking of tights,
didn't
once
expect it
again-
to go to.
You gotta have fun.
Very familiar with Nomex. All right, so the race is coming up. Motors in progress. Other than the motor, once that's back in
I'm gonna make axle seals not leak transmission fluid everywhere.
okay.
I'm going to redo the brakes. I think we can make them work a little better. I think the drums I have, with these cars and the way the class is, it's all stock parts pretty much. So
Yeah.
finding parts isn't the easiest sometimes. So I'm going to try to find some German-made drums, get something fresh in there. Actually get some feel out of the brake pedal. It'd be nice to have brakes for once in the car. Do that. A few other things. I got to add a couple pieces of the cage just to stiffen it up for the desert racing.
Yep.
But not much.
Do Do you add or remove cage for specific? I know it sounds stupid, but like
No,
some have the bolt-in swing arm where you can pin it.
So I'm gonna add. It goes from, if you're familiar with bugs, there's 2 rear frame horns where the transmission mounts to, and your motor mounts off of that. So over the course, of either a lot of the short course racing or the desert stuff, those frame horns will get weak after a while. So you tie them up into like the rear part of the cage, kind of, and just stiffen
sure them
everything
up. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Because otherwise you'll end up, coming through a whoop section, and instead of losing a motor, you'll lose the whole motor will just snap off the back.
Right.
And with my luck, it
will do that.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Do you have a goal for the Mint 400? Is there something, short? I want to win my class. Like, understand. Yeah, it's a competitive thing. But is there like a?
That's the racer in me always wants to go out and, like you said with the F1 guys, you go out to race, you want to go,
right,
beat whoever is next to you.
Yeah,
and it's tough sometimes to, a lot of the other things I race, 4-wheelers up till pro-am ranks, you're on high-end equipment, modern high-end equipment. The UTVs, it's all stuff that's just coming out. It's stuff, helping develop the shock parts as the stuff's coming out. Or, the UTV I was running, had a 6-speed sequential gearbox in the thing. And 1,000 cc's.
Dude, the UTV head was fucking wild.
Yeah. And that's a high compression motor, run on 120 octane. The thing puts out some power.
God.
Where now I'm going so backwards to a bug. It's, I need to
separating the men from the boys.
Yeah, I need to learn that, you don't have the pedal to get you out of certain situations that normally you can motor out of stuff. All through racing a 4-wheeler or UTVs, you come into something squirrely, get sideways, and
power out.
Like you see with Pastrana, you're committed at a certain point. You're going 60, 70 through these whoops. You don't have that, that split second. You're not thinking. You're rolling the thing over. And I've done that before too, and it's not fun. I was also on TV once flipping the UTV over. I'll show you guys that later.
Oh, really? Yeah. So as far as the goal is,
just finish. I just want to finish.
That's kind of what I wanted to.
Yeah.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah. Because truly, like I was saying and alluding to earlier, like to me, that's a win in a way. Just,
absolutely.
Especially a race like that. Like,
and that's definitely, at the Mint last year, it was my first race in one of these cars. And like I said, we raced for years, but we didn't finish. But there was also guys that have been racing these for 40 years.
Right.
So it's definitely one of the, just to say you finished is a big thing. And now I'm slowly learning that with the desert racing, just to get to the finish is the race
it's
itself.
An accomplishment itself. Yeah. And I was going to say, like, I'm sure a lot of those old timers, and I mean that in the best of ways, they're going to have, you can't mess with your platform too much. Right. But I'm sure, just like we watched and were kind of obsessed with last year, the Project Binky stuff, or not Project Binky itself, but when they took on that race series.
The race series.
And it was all how you can interpret the rules and what you can get away with.
That is absolutely how this class is. And, with the popularity of it, like I said, there's a Blake Wilkie, he's a YouTuber that some people listening might be familiar with.
Yep.
He's, desert West Coast stuff. He, just with that name alone, he's brought a lot of eyes onto the sport. There's companies like MP who reached out and helped me out.
Yep.
They're putting a lot of support to, like the magazine I brought to show you guys, they're trying to,
it's,
for like a revival of the class.
Right. It's becoming a thing.
Yes.
And I can see how.
It is the most affordable way to desert race, really.
Right.
Because like I said, with the UTVs, it's who's got the deepest pockets.
Yeah. Matter of fact, on that live stream, that was a point one of the commentators.
One of the commentators, his name is Corey as well, and he's the one from MP that's been, helping me out a bit. And
he was just trying to emphasize of how attainable that setup is, because he's just kind of walked through it, and again, it's commentating during a race. Instead of like, oh no, I know these cars change hands for $12,000 to $15,000, but they're ready to go.
Yeah,
and that's not when you're talking motorsport stuff. Besides your fucking underwear that you have to buy, you're getting a platform like that, and you can dive in.
That's, I think, with what I do for a day job work, we obviously, you guys know we have a hell of a fabrication shop, so we built
amazing.
the car ourselves.
amazing. I'm truly fascinated with what you do for work, what your company does. You were on Topics Under the Stairs, so I highly suggest anybody who's listening to this that's interested in what Garrett does, go have a listen to that episode. I can't remember what number it is, but
It was an early one.
it was an earlier one, yeah. And it was one of those ones where I'm like, I think John and I were kicking back ideas of guests, and I immediately said, Garrett needs to, like, just because I knew what it
And
was.
that's definitely, I think, a bit more shy in that episode. I've known Corey for years.
Yep.
I've met you a few times.
Yep.
Shook, I met tonight.
Yep.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Nothing brings
hey, how
people
you
together
doing?
more than underwear talk.
Yeah.
Oh,
A
love
couple
it.
of guys.
That's what I'm here for.
The Lord's talk.
The Lord's talk. Episode 4.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That was super early.
And
on.
that was, I met John that night.
Right,
really.
right.
So I was a bit more shy than I am now. So,
Yep.
That's definitely one of those things. I definitely have a cool day job. So
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And again, for everybody out there who's interested, please go listen. It involves, for lack of a better term, stuff you've seen on television, whether it be sports channels, whether it be political
a
events,
certain sign that used to be
a certain sign that's right behind him, things like that get built from the ground up and fabricated. So there's a lot of intricate moving pieces and a lot of very big brains kind of pulling it all together. So it's just a super cool thing.
Yeah, but to go back of how we broke off into there is, I think when we put, the man hours and everything that would be into building the car, we did.
Yep.
And we didn't. When we set out to build the car, I wanted it to be as much of a show car as it is a race car.
Yep.
And I think we accomplished that pretty well. But we would guess, and we didn't skip anything other than the motor until this point. Didn't skip anything on building it, so it'd probably be, like they said, 10, 15,000 to get into one. Ours is probably around, like 25
Yep.
ish.
Is that with the car itself?
That's with the car, with all the parts, with, as if we were building it at the shop, what the man hours would charge out to be, stuff
Yep,
like that.
yep.
And, because you guys have seen the wiring, everything's done.
Oh,
to
the
a point-
wiring's one of my favorite parts.
It's
Yeah.
done to a point where I can be in the middle of the desert, make
Yeah.
it now, it was a
Identifiable.
couple things to unplug, and you have, your backup electric fuel pumps and one switch I flip. And
Yep.
I think now that we've, been around the class a bit more and learned some things, we're going to change that. So, I have a second ignition system, things like that. So more, like the circle jerk guys will get into the NASCAR things, but those guys can flip a switch and they have an entire different electronic system in the car. Pretty much. So,
Redundant
correct. So,
stuff.
like I said, in practice, I had the coil go bad. So if I'm in the desert, I don't want to get out of the car and deal with that. So I want to be able to flip a switch. I can come into a pit and they can swap the coil, something like that. If we're doing a driver change that hopefully Corey's a part of.
Yep. I was going to say, right, because they're we're not, I don't want to spill any beans here, but there was some potential for Corey to partake in some of this stuff.
Well,
The potential was to sit in the passenger seat.
well, that's the other thing is they announced the 2021 Mint 400s in December, but the 2022 will be back in March like it normally is. So we're gonna
boy.
go. It'll pretty much be
Back to fucking back. You might as well
be
just
like
stay out in
racing
Vegas.
Back-to-back world champs.
yeah. That's
Dude, Corey's
that-
going to have to duct tape his eyes shut to fall asleep that night. He's going to be like this after he gets off the track. Like,
yeah. So we're gonna go for it.
I'm looking forward to seeing it all unfold. And it's always a it's never short on entertainment.
Yeah, I do what I can to keep the Instagram page live. For a while I kind of ran out of content to post.
Right. Well, I mean,
I'm like,
I think the world did. Right. There's
Yeah.
not much you can do if you're not racing your race car.
yeah. And there's only so many shots of the car sitting on stands in the garage.
Right,
you can
right.
do, so
I did enjoy the updates as you were getting closer to the it being completed. You taking it out in the parking lot,
yeah.
thrashing it a little bit around there. It was cool to see that sort of
It's
stuff.
fun, and I'm hoping if I stop breaking the damn thing, I'll get to a couple of the donut meets or
Right.
I actually had the car sign up for staggered, and
Oh, man.
I was hoping to get it there, but obviously
Right, just didn't pan out.
no one wants to tow in the car on a trailer with no motor in it. I mean,
Right. That's
it's
not.
it's
Yeah.
not that much of a show car.
Right. Even the ones that are, it
It
just
doesn't even have air ride.
just wait. So yeah, you just got your work cut out
yeah,
for the next 60 days on top of normal life and
yeah.
a full-time job, and
buy a house, do that stuff.
Right.
Full-time job, pandemic.
It's fine.
Who needs spare time?
So what's the plan for the Mint? When are you driving out there, flying out there? I think last time your dad towed
last
it,
time
right?
my dad drove out, and he'll probably do the same thing. It'll be him, his dogs, and
Right. Just
he loves that shit.
I was just gonna say, just enjoy.
That, and that's part of like I said, I was fortunate. My parents were very much into this, and my dad just loves the time out of the shop.
Yeah.
It's good to get away from work, do some family stuff. So I think last year he drove out, and I think it took 3 or 4 days. That's a long haul out there.
Yep.
And I flew out there with Mickett, one of the other guys from the shop, who's my mechanic, and one of our other buddies, K-Mats, that he's been to a few of the donut meets, stuff like that. So we'll probably do something similar. I got a few other friends that after I went and raced the first time, we told them to come out for it, but they're like, oh, no. And, then we were at the parade at the Mint, and they're seeing the stuff, and they're like,
got to be there.
Where can we get these next day flights? And they were trying to get out the race last year. So they planned ahead for the one that was supposed to happen. They got postponed. So
Yep.
they all canceled their flights after it got postponed. So they all have flights ready to go.
Just-
and
Yeah.
I think they're going to, try to pick between the one in December or March again. So
Yep.
hopefully, get some more friends out there, try to get some of you guys out there. And
Are you more mentally prepared?
I think so. So like I said, I've raced since I was 12 years old, dirt bike squads. Like the racer's nerves, I would throw up before races all the time. To this day, I can't eat breakfast at a normal time because, the youth races were at like 8 o'clock, and I would, eat whatever for breakfast and puke it up, where I think I just gave myself like PTSD. And I love breakfast food, but I just hate eating that early. Before this race, I wasn't nervous at all. And maybe that's why everything went wrong, but, I was just ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I built this car literally from the pan up. I know everything there is to know about the car. Learning more about the class is definitely something that will come with time, but I know everything there is about that car. That's my weapon for battle at this point.
I think being more comfortable with the scenario, how things are going to work.
I think definitely at the Mint this year will be huge because, like I said, that was our first desert race ever, and we were just like, all right, we're here to race. What's going on?
Let's roll.
I'd never been to Vegas before.
Yeah.
I'm driving this little car down the streets of Vegas. The event is massive. If anyone's familiar with Vegas, Old Vegas, Fremont Street, they shut that down, the end of it for us, and it's all the vendors, all the cars. When you take the car through for tech inspection, you push it down the street, and you're through the whole mess. So that there's different companies sticking stickers on your car.
Could be overwhelming.
Pictures, it's overwhelming, and you're a little nerve shot by the end of it. And I think this year, I'm ready for that ride.
And just it kind of focus on the task at hand.
Yeah,
and
well, that's so. If you've seen Fear and Loathing Las Vegas, it's buy the ticket, take the ride.
Yep.
The race that they're covering in that, it's he's a photographer, is the Mint 400. So that's kind of the model of the race is, buy the ticket, take the ride.
Yeah.
Or however the quote is, but
I had to watch that. It's a good movie.
Great movie.
Great movie. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Good
Country.
stuff.
I think that's where me and Mick broke last year is Bad Country.
I'm glad you said that about the nerves. Like, I can't eat before the couple events I've done.
Just puke.
In the
or you
staging lane, I'm not competing. My hands are shaking.
Yeah.
And after the first lap, I'm like, oh.
Well, that's...
I just drove here. It's totally fine. But you're waiting to go out, and you're like...
You get that adrenaline rush. That's what, you know, that's what...
It like starts
draws me back to this stuff after all these years.
I mean, that's...
Chase that.
Butterflies never go away for a lot of people, even professionals of whatever. But that's what it is. That's what differentiates a,
Well, that's like you guys, like the Pastrana hill climb thing. Obviously, that's nothing like I'm near. But,
oh, yeah, it's crazy.
You just get addicted to that in a way. Yep. And obviously, like I said, when I was ATV racing, I was fearless. I don't care. The reason I stopped is because I hit a telephone pole probably going like 40, 50 because you're that tight to these things. And you just have to have that switch in your head where and that's what people always say, the older racers, like, I just don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
But you have to have that in your head where it's either, you're going to hit the throttle to get out of this or you're going to get seriously hurt and you need that and you get addicted to it in a way. And I think that's why you do see a lot of old racers that, over the top that just can't get away from it.
Yeah, it's always chasing
Or
that.
they get into a different part of it,
And still, right, that allow themselves to continue. Constantly chasing that feeling. And it just never goes away.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to end it. We can get into some questions. Well, myself and probably everybody listening and everybody here, we wish you the best of luck moving forward.
You guys have, done so much for me, with that interview, I was able to post that and
That was all Josh.
Get my name, our story out there.
Super cool that worked out that way.
All I did was buy pizza.
It was good pizza. It was good pizza.
Yeah.
No, it was super cool that worked out that way because there's just, we wanted to find out the story of the car, and we're glad, people seen it and wanted to get involved from there.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's that's another thing, growing up in the era of being into the Volkswagens, the Gangsta guys were, when Mickett and I were going to the first dust offs in his Mark III when we just got our licenses and stuff. It was, we saw you guys and it was like, oh, we'll be like those guys someday. And then to, have you guys help us out, you, Curtis, Josh, you're Josh, Jesus. Just everybody. It's John. It's pretty cool to, have all these friends through cars, Corey through the years and, I'll just look out for each other after a while.
And it's the same thing like that. I'm sure you'll meet even more people and gain that camaraderie with all the additional desert racing stuff.
Yeah.
And that class-based stuff. It's cool to see. And we got to keep it going because they're trying to take it away. Anyway, let's get into some questions. Spanish or English?
Raf.
If you guys end up in prison, it's always a potential. What would your prison names be?
C-Pain.
Jesus, that was fast.
That's solid. I'm just going to go with Tiny.
Tiny.
Bonesaw.
Bonesaw?
Randy Savage from Spider-Man.
There you go.
You got 3 minutes.
Let's see. Baby Yoda, home fries with or without onions?
Either or, but I could go with onions.
I'm going to go without unless they're caramelized.
Oh, they got to be. You didn't make them right if they're not.
Okay, so that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want a fucking raw onion in there. Like, if you are, just back up.
Little diced raw onions is what I pictured.
Yes.
So
no, I don't know.
I don't
Small
want
diced. Typically, probably cook those down before you start the whole fries.
Before
yeah.
we, all right, I could be down with that. Baby Yoda again. How mad are the Bronco Sport owners when they see a Bronco at a stoplight?
Probably not, because all the Bronco Sport works great.
And I'd hope they'd know the difference of what they're purchasing.
I'm sure someone was duped. I'm sure someone out there.
Most likely. Somebody bought.
Well, that's
How many
the Bronco too.
Yeah.
That was the small Bronco.
Yeah. How many people bought a Mach-E thinking it was the new Mustang?
Yeah, like.
Yeah. Baby Yoda once again. Anyone watch Below Deck?
Yeah.
I've not.
Mediterranean. Yeah.
Is it like
It's the shittiest of shitty reality television. It's about like a very, very large yacht
Mega
with
yacht.
with the crew on it.
Yeah.
And it follows around the crew and their fabricated drama with each other.
I've seen this show.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
then
Drive to Survive,
and then
but just
yes,
rental.
and then the
Okay.
guests come on, and someone's always like, every day of the week I'm gonna eat different color food,
Yeah.
some Monday it's gonna be green food only for me, and just the most elaborate bullshit ever.
What's crazy is the past couple of months I watched, I think it was a Vice video. Vice did a series of they'd have people on for interviews, but they'd hide their identity. And this dude was a deckhand on one of those yachts. And it was like a 10 or 12 minute video of him of all the everything you can think of bad that happens on boats, and they just can't say anything.
Yeah, I mean, they get tipped out pretty good at the end of each trip.
Or killed if they
You
do.
make serious money.
But
You'll
the problem,
see the tip amounts that just shows how deep the pockets are. The people do
Right.
this.
the problem is that you're working 24/7.
Yeah.
nonstop.
No matter what, the entire time.
And then when the guests aren't on the boat, then I'm not. Yeah, it's shitty reality television, but like they show you like when the guests aren't on the boat, then you're just cleaning the boat, you're maintaining the boat, you're prepping for the next guest. So it's just nonstop.
Yeah.
It's the most grueling work ever.
Yeah. Generally boat related jobs.
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah. Kind of difficult.
Difficult.
You got to just be the right mindset.
You got to be a man.
Kevin401, where did you go the first time you went on a plane?
Disney.
I was going to say, I think I went to
Disney.
Florida. Not Disney, but just Florida in general.
Yeah, Disney.
Damon Wayans, thoughts on the current JDM prices? Will the bubble pop? I don't know, man.
Oh, man. I don't know about pop. I think maybe deflate a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they stopped making them. There's only so many.
Right, and it's going to get tougher to
Yeah.
parts are going to get tougher to source. They're not right. There's no more coming.
Yeah.
So, S14 OCP. What happened to the last car you sold?
Last car I sold.
Dropped off the Raptor at Carvana.
There you go.
There you go.
The last car I sold was my Mark I project. I don't really qualify that.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was actually Garrett's old car. And then before that was my Mini. I just traded it in. So
Yeah.
the fuck I went to auction somewhere. I don't know.
I think the M3 was looked after, painted, suffered a unfortunate incident,
A fatal blow.
Oh, boy.
and sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last car that I sold to person was my CRX, and I watched it bang first through fourth onto the highway with no transmission fluid, and then I heard it explode on I-95. And we were all like, yep, it blew up. That was it. That's the last one I sold.
Did they turn around?
No, I got a text like 15 minutes later. Bro, you said this car's mint. I'm like, I told
It
you.
was.
I said that the axles leak. I was young. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Never finishing projects. What movie can you watch 1,000,000 times and never get tired of?
Oh.
God, there's a handful.
Ace
Talladega
Ventura.
Nights.
What'd you say?
That's a good one.
Talladega Nights. You said Ace Ventura.
Or
Predator.
Predator's good. Austin Powers.
The first Halloween. Halloween 1.
Okay.
I mean,
OG.
I'm probably nearing like 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just like it's probably gonna start like October 1st,
Oh yeah, it's
where it's on every
I think-
day, multiple times a day.
yeah, no, October. Yeah, October.
If I
Friday,
see it on,
it's-
I'll put it on.
yeah.
Which movie have you seen the most? He's obviously
Probably that.
Halloween.
Yeah, honestly, probably that.
Mine's Bad Boys 2.
All right, dude, what are you doing?
I had it on DVD. I don't know. I
Oh.
watched it.
Bad Boys 2.
I honestly don't. It would probably be Predator, Jaws, or Rad.
Okay.
I don't.
Jaws is a good one.
I don't
The
know.
first Predator with
Oh yeah, yeah. To me, there's
There's
the
some
one with
funny ones.
the one with Danny Glover. I don't dislike, but it's a stark contrast from the OG.
yeah.
You know, iconic Get to the
Ugly
Chopper.
Son of a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. TDs, what's your favorite chip?
Favorite chip? Blue Ranch Doritos.
Really?
Oh my god.
I like the nacho cheese over those.
Blue Ranch Doritos?
Once it hits my mouth, I can't put it down.
Did you say Blue Ranch or
Cool Ranch. Cool Ranch.
Cool
Oh,
Ranch.
I was like,
Blue
that's a
bag.
thing?
Blue bag.
Cool Ranch. Yeah,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, close enough. I knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See?
no, I agree though.
Do you have a favorite chip? Those are the one too?
Yeah, because I mean,
Cape Cod chips are pretty good, but
Oh.
they'll tear your mouth up.
They
that.
do.
Yeah.
Salt
Get a
and
bit
vinegar
rough.
Cape Cod?
There's like a black
It's all
pepper
good
Cape
moderation.
Cod
ooh,
chip.
that one's good.
What is it? The russet ones? The dark russet or
Yeah.
whatever? Oh.
Yeah, solid. Dexter VW, if you had to compete in the Mongol Rally, what vehicle would you take? I know we
Mongol
talked
rallies.
about it. Wild. He tagged us in something the other day. I
Yeah.
gotta watch it. I think somebody did it in a mini.
I don't know how much of a spine they have left. I don't know. I mean, that's tough because you want something that's capable but also comfortable because capable sometimes comes at the expense of comfortable.
Yeah.
I'd want to do it in all four of the same cars, like on Top Gear.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah,
Africa was the Africa one where they go across the desert
yeah.
in those weird like.
Oh, and the weird like buggy things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd want to do it in those, like all of us. That would be so fun.
I'd want something I'm enclosed in.
I'm torn. Like
A class
you
11.
just-
Yeah, you go. Class 11.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick.
that would be fucking awesome.
They do race with glass in them still.
Do they really?
That is one of the rules. You can race with the factory glass in these cars.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
Can you can so that means you can also swap it out.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I have like a Lexan shield for my.
Oh yeah,
hands,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
about it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that'd be an odd.
If you watch, there's a couple documentaries, Dust to Glory and From Dust to Glory and Dust to Glory.
Yep.
They profile Class 11s pretty good in those.
Oh, cool. Oh, where are they? Are they just?
That's
out
at the Baja 1000
Okay.
YouTube,
I was just-
Amazon.
on. I think Amazon. You might.
I was
be
gonna
able
say I
to-
feel like I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I know I have. I started watching it because it starts out with
There's one with a red car.
it's
And
one
there's one with a green and black car.
and one starts out with dudes on motorcycles. The way it starts, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. I started watching that the other day. I don't know. I'm not thinking like something big, obviously like Jeep-like, but I don't necessarily want a Jeep.
Cherokee. Old Cherokee.
So that's the thing. It's like, do you go with something old?
Like a K10 Blazer.
To me, the reliability is the biggest thing.
Oh, a Toyota 4Runner.
There you go. Something like Land Cruiser, right?
As
Something
soon as
like
you
that.
said reliability.
Yeah, Land Cruiser or something like
you
that.
just go with getting a brand new 4Runner?
Something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
you
that
can't
would
be,
actually
can't be much more comfortable than that.
Yeah.
No.
Chuck, who?
Home.
Are we all dressing Newport chic for the concourse?
Yeah, we're gonna dress up. We're gonna have our puffy shirts on.
Yep, my finest salmon colors.
Yeah.
TDs, what is one brand you want to see make a resurgence?
Well, I said it before, but International Scout, and it sounds like, or it looks like they will
That might
be in
happen.
some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Jinko.
Yeah.
Those 25-inch bottoms, is that what you're going for?
Mr. Rags.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ghost Images just writes, do you believe? We do, sir. We do.
Yeah.
More on that soon. Subtle Mercury. Opinions on the Kia Telluride. Have y'all driven one? I have not driven one. We did like the way they looked at the auto show.
Yeah, I haven't driven one.
That was the closest I've gotten to one.
A friend was looking to buy one as a family vehicle, and they were just hard to get. Didn't stay on the lot.
Yeah.
So as soon as it came in, they were already sold.
I think those had price markup going for a while.
Yeah, no real deals to be had on them. It was just kind of like, if you don't buy it, someone else is gonna. So
Yep.
move it along.
Was that their not SUV?
That's their SUV.
It was
Yeah,
that
big.
SUV
Their bigger
thing
SUV.
that
Yeah.
everybody was
Yeah.
freaking out.
Yep.
Okay.
Every time I see one on the road, I'm intrigued and kind of wonder more.
There's something
But
about
that's-
them where they stick out.
Yeah.
I think it might be.
They're lights. They're kind of
Yeah.
They match the outer body lines pretty well.
Yeah.
Yep. And typically I see them in like black or like a dark gray.
It's a brown color.
Yeah. And it's all kind of dark that I'm like, all right, that it plays the
Cool.
part.
Yeah, it's a cool looking car.
Dog pizza. If Epstein didn't kill himself, is pee still stored in the balls?
Doug Pizza's a man with a lot of time on his hands.
He's really bringing the heat. Let's see. Slow and usually broken VW. Can we get a honking on Bobo solo from Chuck?
Oh.
Maybe he'll bring it next week.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe he can honk on Bobo next week.
maybe we'll get him to bring that next week and do a live showing in between segments. Grape Whistle. Name something you are addicted to that isn't addictive.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah,
Sugar's addictive.
Every single gas station I go to, you gotta get them.
Yeah.
Have you had the double cups with the pretzels in them?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The peanut butter
Throw those
lover
in the
ones.
freezer.
Freezer.
Yeah, the peanut butter on peanut butter, double peanut butter.
Yeah,
should've put
those
those
are
in the freezer.
solid. Oh, that was the I think maybe you were grabbing the food. That's the play.
It is.
Freeze those. Yeah, that's the play
Just
for sure.
didn't tell you.
I can't think of something I'm addicted. I'm definitely addicted to coffee, but I think that is addictive.
It is
That's caffeine,
addictive,
yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Video games?
Yeah.
You
Does
can
it
be.
count?
Yeah. You can.
The
Yeah.
podcast.
If I don't play
There we
Counter Strike
go.
for a couple days, I'm like, I really want to play a game.
Play what? Counter Strike.
Counter Strike, yeah. I don't know why. It's 12 years old. Can't stop playing it.
You know, some people race cars from the 70s. Some people play Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Just happens.
And Jinkos.
Exactly.
And Jinko jeans.
I think you're just living in high school still.
I'll be goddamned if I don't have that chain on my wallet.
Last couple here. Ed Joy rides. Beef, pork, chicken, or fish tacos go.
I'm a big pork guy.
I'd like one of each.
Oh, there you go.
Chicken. Boring.
God, you're so white.
It could be seasoned.
Let's see. Last one. Diesel Dave 359. What year is that Buick Regal? Oh, I don't know. The one I posted, I don't know what year it is.
What Buick Regal?
It was just one from a donut meet.
Oh.
Yeah.
I actually saw him at Staggered. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be in 80-something.
Yeah, I don't know what year exactly, but
Yeah.
I think that's going to do it for us this week.
Garrett, you're the man.
Thanks.
Seriously, I really look forward to, again, seeing it all unfold. I want to hear you finish it. That's like,
that's the goal.
I think
We're gonna
that's,
do it.
Yeah.
Third time's a charm.
Let's make it happen. As always, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our YouTube channel where you can like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Also, check out some of the other shows brought to you by Revival Motoring, Talking Motorcycles, Topics Under the Stairs, The Circle Jerks podcast. Visit our website, revivalmotoring.com, for more information, advertising opportunities. If you are interested in that, we'll take a look at the very least. You can sub to B for B, the Bucks for the Boys system. Also, let's see, couple house cleaning things. Magazine pre-order should be up in about a week and a half, maybe by the end of next week. Hopefully, that'll be up. And I'm kind of torn because we just finished the design for the hoodie. I don't necessarily want to put 2 pre-orders up there at once, but our hand might kind of be forced because of limited supply on hoodies. So we want to make sure we get those. We're doing it a little bit sooner than usual, and that is why. So look forward to more of that stuff coming up. We'll be back next week. I think that's it. Any parting thoughts, gentlemen?
Mutilate that like button.
Yeah.
Disembowel it.
Put a rod through it.
Yeah. Put a rod through it.
In front of a crowd of 55,000.
Yeah.
God damn
That's
it.
what to do. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Adios.